This conference will now be recorded.
All right, friends. So,
Ramesh, do we need to log into console Azure?
yeah, if at all you see, a suggested thing is that you can log into this your Azure instance, no problem. But I will request you to please make sure that you follow what I'm trying to explain. Once the explanation is done, if you have some time and if you are able to match my speed, not an issue. You can execute it simultaneously. But if at all it is not possible, you can later on also do the practice by seeing the videos, as well as you will get all the commands and everything. So it is up to you how you would like to manage. So it is important that you should match the speed. Otherwise, it is just for the purpose of you should not miss anything from the session while
Okay.
explaining. Yeah. All right, friends. So let's start. I hope that many of you have joined and okay, so let's start with this one. So guys, you can see that this is one of my Docker instance which I have created. It is a Docker host. This machine is called as a Docker host. It is a virtual machine. It can be on the AWS, it can be on the Azure, it can be on the Google Cloud, or it can be on the base machine of your which is available on your desktop machine or laptop. Anything is possible for the Docker, specifically for the Docker instance to work on. But on the Kubernetes, when we move on the Kubernetes, we'll require multiple nodes. So that time it is you should compulsory use the uh, Azure or AWS, whatever you are comfortable with. But it is suggested that you can use Azure. Okay. So you can see, guys, this is my Docker host. So this is a host name I have set up. You can set up any host name of your choice. It doesn't matter whether it should be a Docker or it should be something else. It can be anything. And as I told you that last time in the last session that if at all you want to check out, is there any container running or not in your machine? This is one simple command that you need to follow, Docker PS. So this Docker command will help you to find out is there any container running or not. If at all you want to see is there any container which is in the stop mode, there is a possibility that container might have exited and stopped. So if you want to see that name containers which are stopped or paused or in the exit state, right? So that kind of containers you can find out by using ps-a command. Now you can say that I have one container which is in the stop mode, which is in the exited state. We'll be discussing about the different states of the containers as well. But the two commands I have fired, one command is for the Docker PS. This command will help you to find out if there are any running containers, and if you use Docker PS-a command, it is something called as a process. Uh, then this command will help you to find out running containers as well as stopped containers in the background, right? So now this is a running this is a stopped container. I want to clean up all the containers now because we want to start from the scratch. So to remove the container, you can use command which I have yesterday also explained you guys, docker rm-f. This is a forceful removal, and you can, this is the name of the container, or you can see here this is the name of the this is a container ID. You can use any one of them to delete the container. So I am using this container ID, and you can see now this container has been removed. So again, if you try to fire the command docker ps space hyphen a, this command will show you there is nothing right now. There is no container running. So look at this now. What are the headings which are there when we try to find out running containers or stopped containers? So these are the column names, container ID, from which image you have created the container, what is the command running to start the container, when it is created, what is the status of the container right now, whether it is running, exited, paused, or stopped. This is the ports. It indicates that the application or service which is running inside the container, on which port this service is running. So you can see it from this place. And these names will indicate what is the name of the container. So these are the column headings. You can use it for the understanding purpose. Okay, now this is something about the containers. I told you that how to see it, right? And now another thing very important is that it is Docker images. And you see there are lots and lots of images has been created and available in this machine, which has been created 2 weeks ago. And see the size of each image here. This looks the image IDs. These are the tags. You can see here a lot of tags I have used. And these are the name of the images which I have used to create the containers. Now, what as since we are starting this session from the scratch, I would like to delete all these containers, sorry, all these images in one go. So how do you delete the containers in one go? So images in one go. So we can use image ID parameter to delete the container, delete the images. So how I can find out only images? So there is one command which we can use to find out the only image IDs, and that is docker images -q. So -q command will help you to just find out the IDs of each image. Okay, now I can use command docker rmi. As you know that one we have used that last time, docker rmi to delete the images. But if I use only one command, docker rmi and the docker image ID, so see it will say that it will delete only one image, or it might have some confliction. So it will may use command to, I need to use command rmi hyphen f command. So it will also delete the image forcefully. Now it will take a lot of time if I want to delete all the images one by one. So how do I delete all the images in one go? So look at this, guys, what command I am firing here. So to find out the images, you can use command q. This is the image IDs, and I can use here docker rmi hyphen f. Then I can use dollar into bracket docker images hyphen q. So whatever the output of this image is, this command is there, it will be given to this command. So whatever the images are there, it will get deleted. In short, this command is used to delete all the images from the system in one go. Look at this. Now it is going to delete all the images. Right? So now it is deleting all. I don't have to delete individually. You might be thinking that why so many SHA values are coming. So we will be discussing about that. Why whenever we create the image, it is called as this is basically layered architecture. So we'll be discussing that. Okay, I'll take all the command, all the questions. Don't worry about it, guys. Now Docker images, and you will not find any image now because everything has been deleted. Docker PS, everything has been cleaned off from this machine. So I don't see any containers here. I don't see any images. Right, guys? So now the point here is that now if I want to create a container, right, or if I want to search the images, specific images I want to search. So how do I search? So yesterday I shown you one command that you can use this command docker search httpd, right? And if you use this command docker search httpd, it will just check everything from the docker hub related to httpd, and it will display for you. So look at that. This is showing all the images which are there, right? Now I want to search the images which are which are only official images. So what I can do here, we can use command search. And guys, just if you type here help, you will get a lot of commands. You don't have to remember all the commands, and it is not possible to remember the commands as well. But you should know how to search the command, right? How to get the help. So if you see here, see here docker search space hyphen help, it will display all the commands associated with it. So it shows that hyphen f is used for finding out the field. It is a basically filter. Okay, you can use a string, you can use limit if you want to find out something called as, I just want to print maximum 2 images, I want to just print 5 images. Okay, so how we can do that, guys? Docker search httpd hyphen limit 2. Now what this command is doing, guys, it is just printing 2 lines. So I'm getting the topmost images which are there on the Docker Hub and which are related to HTTPD, right? So this is by default, it prints 25 by default. The number of images which will print on the page is 25. However, if you want to print specific, that let's say that I want to print only 5, I can use it here. Look at this. Now it is printing only five images. So this becomes very easy for anyone to understand that what are the images are there and what is the stars and what is this is official or not, right? All that things you can easily find out from this place. Okay. Now, if at all only you want to find out whether this image is official or not, then how do I find out? So I have one command I can show you guys that you can use this type of the search command which you can use for pulling the images. Let's say that I want to find out the image whether it is official or not. So I can just use this particular filter, docker search hyphen filter is equal to is of dash official is equal to true, and I'm giving the name of the image called as a Fedora. So if I copy this, okay, and paste it here, I will be giving these commands to you guys. Don't worry about it. It will be uploaded on the portal. Okay, so you can see here Docker search. It shows the filter. Is this official? If it is official, is true, then just print that one. So in Fedora, you have only one official image, which is having a kind of reviews. 942 reviews are there, which is a quite good number of amount. And you can easily use this one, and it is official. So those Fedora community is following this particular, this is actually created by the Fedora community, you can say that. So it is nothing but an official image, and you can easily use as a while creating the container. Okay, so this is one of the filter which you can use, guys, to find out the official image. If you want to find out the image which is having the good stars, let's say I want to find out the image whose stars are equal to 3 or more than 3, and it will display you the images who's having the rating more than 3 or equal to 3. So this is the way we can filter the images, right? And then it will be easy for finding out the information about the image, and we can use to download that. Okay, so now let me if anybody is trying along with me this particular commands, guys, in anybody, so let me give this command to you so that it right away. So in case you want to fire the commands and test something, I would like to, yes. So if you at all you are interested to work along with me, you can use these commands.
I have one question, Ramesh.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
When I log into the virtual machine, right, from the my putty,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the container I need to create under root or Docker machine, where?
You can use root user ID to create the Docker machine. There is no problem. Or if at all you are using a normal user also, let's say you have created user called as Ubuntu, or you have some user called as, let's say,
I created
XYZ.
Docker machine user, yeah.
So you can just use that as well, but make sure that you have to add that user. That user should have a root privileges. Then only it will work. Otherwise, you have to fire sudo command every time. So when you are just learning first time, I will suggest you to use a root user as well. So you can. So let's say that actually I was in the I have also Docker user I'm using, but what I did, I just had sudo -i and I got this root user. And now from that root user, I'm firing all these commands. But no problem. If at all you want to use, you can use Docker command also, any user as well. Okay,
So
I think
if I
they have.
use
Mhm.
if I use sudo I, the -I, then it goes to root user, right? Okay,
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
thank you.
Okay, now, so I have shown you how to search the images. So if somebody might be thinking about what is official, official is nothing but official organization. Those the official community actually they test it and they then say that this image is good to use for the production also. So these are the tested images and they're authentic images uploaded by the authentic community or organization. So if you are trying to use, let's say, find out if you want to use the, let's say, MySQL image. So this is important that you should know uh, what is the star rating. So star rating is nothing but a kind of reviews, guys. So similar like the reviews you give to the any product or let's say this session. Once this session gets closed and you rate this session, right? So if it has a good review, then it seems that oh, it is good session happened, right? So similarly, this is kind of reviews which you can use to download the image. So you can see there are three official images. One is a MySQL, another one is MariaDB, and third one is it is something called as Percona. I don't know what is this one, but this is also a official image and having a good stars also. And see here, this MySQL image is likely, and I have seen most of the people are using this image in if they want to initiate their databases. So that is what called as official. And star is nothing but it is reviewed. This is description. And automated is nothing but that whenever this script has been created, a lot of steps has been automated there. So you need to understand, or if you are using automated script, you need to know when you are using that particular in your program, you need to know what are the parameters, what are the environmental parameters are used. That all that information need to be thoroughly understood. And where you can find out that information, you can find out that information on the Docker Hub. It is given everything in detail how to use the image. I have shown you that yesterday. Let me show you again. Let's say this is my Docker Hub, hub.docker.com. And here you can see, let's say I want to find out the information about the MySQL. If I click on this image, it will take me to the reference page, description page. You can see here there is a reviews also. And there are, if there is any tags, you can use tags also. That information is available as well. So this is the description. And here you can find out something called as what is this MySQL, right? How to use this image. If at all you want to use this image, you have to run this command docker run hyphen name. Then you have to give this environmental parameter, and then you have to pass on the password. And this is in the detached mode, and this is the way you have to use the image. So all the information is given. Okay, so if it is properly automated, they will give the information in the description that uh, description about the all the images, how to use that one, and it will be really useful for you guys, right? So what are the environmental variables available? So whenever you are creating a database image, make sure that you should have a root password. You should give at least one parameter from the environmental variables, otherwise your database image will not run, right? So which are the environmental variables comes along with the MySQL image, all that things are given here, right? So this is something which you need to study, or before, if you are using this for the production, make sure that you guys go through this image description once so that it will be easy for you. Now, if at all you don't have the login on this Docker Hub, it is very easy to get the login. I request all of you to please create your login on the Docker Hub. Please create your login on the GitHub. please create your login on the Red Hat repository as well. They are also providing the free access to the various repositories. I will be showing you how you can use a Red Hat Red Hat repository to pull the images and start the containers from the Red Hat repository as well. Okay, so this is something that you need to guys follow when we are using these particular images for production, okay, or development phase. I hope that you got understood about the searching parameters. I hope that everything is clear about the searching parameter. Okay, I hope that my screen is enlarged. Yes, it is. Anthony, my screen is completely enlarged. I think you need to adjust something from on your screen. Yes, Red Hat Repo and Docker Hub credentials is lifetime free. Yes, correct. You can use it lifetime. Correct. Piyush has answered that question. Docker Hub is used to store the images, not Docker. Okay, these are rated by the people like us when we use that images. Docker Hub is free. Okay, but now they have come up with some restrictions for, let's say, 6 hours you can use 100 images or something like that. And if you want to use more than that, they have started charging you from this December or November 2020, right? So if you are using more number of images, more than 100 images in 6 hours, then you have to pay the charges. Otherwise, you have to wait for 6 more hours. Then you can use it again, 100 images. I hope that that is clear. Okay, good. All right, thank you. This is something about the Docker search. Now let me show you how we can log into the various repositories. So topic is how to log into the various repositories so that we can use it. Okay, so if you want to have access to the, if you want to access the Docker repository, which you have created yourself, you can use command docker login. That's it. And if you use this command, it will ask you, yeah, already I have this login. So let me log out from this. Okay, so it is saying that removing the login credentials and I can now log in here. It will ask me the username. So my username is this one, Kharat Ramesh, and then there is a specific password which I have set that you need to enter. And once you set up the password, it will show that there is a login successful, right? And I can log out from this also, Docker logout. Now I don't want to use the images from the Docker. I want to use it from the Red Hat repository. How I can use that? So similarly, first of all, you need to know what is the link of the Red Hat repository. So how I can get that? So just go to the Google and you can type here Red Hat repository, Red Hat container repository, and you see that it shows that certified container images are there. So let me click on this. Once I click on this one, I think it will show me all the images list. It shows that catalog redhat.com. Okay, and now if I want to search any image of the on the Red Hat platform, what I can do, I can go here and search for the MySQL, and let me search here. So it will give me all the authentic and official Red Hat images, guys, and all these images are free of cost. You can use it. I can use this also. Let me show you that if I want to use this image, I will click here on this image and it will give me the more information about this image. Let me again click on this one. I think it has not clicked properly. Let me click it again on this particular image. Yes. Now you can see the information about this image. So you can see here Docker file of this image as well. And if you want to get this image, you can use get this image. And this is the name of the registry. Registry.redhat.io is the name of the registry. And I can use this registry for getting logged in. So I can copy it here and then go to the my command prompt. And from that, I can use command docker login and Red Hat registry.redhat.io. Once I enter, it will ask me to, okay, so this is also again, I have already have a login. So let me log out from this. So it has removed the login credentials from the registry.redhat.io. Let me log in it again. And now it is asking me for the my Red Hat registry login. So already I have created my login there. And let me see what is my password. Hopefully this is correct one. Yes, and it is correct one. Login succeeded. Now, whenever I want to use the Red Hat image, I can use now because I have logged in successfully. And guys, just create one login on the redhat.com. It is official. Might be your project might be using this one. So redhat.com. Go to the redhat.com, and there will be you have to create one login here. Look at this is login. Click on the login. If you are already registered, then you can log in. If you are not registered, you can click on the register now, and then you can use if you want to use corporate account or personal account, click on the personal account, choose a good password, choose a good username and ID, give some personal information and contact information, and create your account. And once you create this account will be universal account for the Red Hat access. I just want to show you guys this is the way you can create the account on the Google Red Hat. This is very easy. Use redhat.com to create the account. There is one more very nice utility on the developers portal. If at all you are interested from the development perspective, what are the different developments are going on the Red Hat? They are official organization of the Linux and all other components. So you can also create a developer's account. I think same user ID and password will be used for the developer's account as well. Guys, if you have a developer's account, then you can easily use 1 year free subscription for free of cost for using the Red Hat operating system, official Red Hat operating system. You can do a lot of work on that one. So they are having Istio. This one is a very coming up very nicely. Kubernetes, CI/CD, serverless, Java, Linux, microservices, and a lot of things are there. You can have access to this developer portal like anything, guys. So this will be really good if you are into the DevOps field now. Okay, so this is just for the information, and the name of this one is a developers.redhat.com. Let me put it in the chat box, so this will be really cool for you guys. Okay, and what is the name of the registry of the Red Hat registry? This is registry.redhat.io. Okay, so this is okay. No, I am using this right now, Venkatesh. I am using just Ubuntu operating system for the benefit of everybody. I can use the Red Hat also. There is no problem. But if I am using Red Hat, then we have to use their container engine called as a Podman, right? So normally everybody is using the Docker or some other commands in their organization. So it is better if you use generalize this one. Okay, so to see the operating system version, you can just use command etc os-release. This command will help you to find out which operating system you are right now using. And I'm using Ubuntu 20.10. Okay, this is the latest version of the Ubuntu which we are using here, right? All the commands are same everywhere. Docker commands are everywhere. It can be CentOS operating system. It can be Linux Red Hat operating system. or if you are using Ubuntu, if you are using Fedora, everywhere these commands are same. Docker commands remain same things. Okay, cool. I hope that you've got how to log into the registry. For the sake of everybody's benefit, let me give these commands to you. So this will be useful for you. I am going to create this document for this one. Let me go here and copy these commands on my notepad. So you will get the day-wise commands as well. Okay, so this will be uploaded there. If at all anybody is interested, just have a copy of it. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and let me show you how I can pull the image from the Red Hat and how to create a container from the Red Hat image as well as Docker Hub. So both things will be get cleared for you guys. So let me go to the Red Hat repository. This is my Red Hat repository, and I want to use something called as, let's say, HTTP image, because we will see the database image a little bit later on, how to create the database. So I just need to type here HTTPD. HTTPD is the HTTPD is the thing, but it is a software which is used to host the website. There is in the Ubuntu we use Apache 2. If it is Ubuntu operating system, if it is the Red Hat or CentOS operating system, we use HTTPD as a package name. So I'm going to use this Apache. Let me use this one. You can see here, this shows the get this image. I'm clicking on this get this image, and they have given the path of this image. Somewhere below there will be one command how to pull this image. So look at this. This is showing a podman pull registry. So I'm going to use this command, but not podman. I'm just going to use the docker pull command. Docker pull, and I'm pulling it from my Red Hat registry, guys. Look at this. So this is getting downloaded from the Red Hat registry. So once it is downloaded, I can start the container by using this image also. Guys, if you don't want to pull the image and create a container, you can directly also create a container from the docker run command. So let me show you that as well. So there are two ways. One is you can pull the image and create a container, and second one is that directly you can give the command to create the container. Automatically that command will pull the image and start the container. So these are the two ways. So this is one way, and from this one we can create an image, or else let's say that you want to create a container from this one, you can use this image, or let me remove this image, docker images, and let me remove this image now, docker rmi, it is removed. Cool, now I don't have any image. Okay, now I want to create a container, right? I want to create a container directly from the image which is available right now on the docker hub or maybe red hat hub, anywhere. So what I can do, docker run, I can directly use this in the command, and I'm giving this name as a web1. This is my container name, and the image which I want to use is this image. Okay, this is a Red Hat image. So let me just, now there is no image in my machine, it is deleted, right? So now what this command will do, this command will go to the Red Hat registry, it will pull the image, and then it will create a container. So now it is showing unable to find image locally, so it is now going to the internet on the Red Hat registry. It is pulling, downloading the image, and once the image is downloaded, it will automatically start the container. So in one command you can do both tasks. So now you see that container has been created, and this is the big number which you see here. Okay, now look at this docker ps, and guys, it shows that the container is running. This is the name of the container id, this is the image coming from, this is the command running inside the container. We have created it 14 seconds ago, and up by 10 seconds it is using a port number 8080 8443 as well. and this is the name of the container. Okay, so this is something which you need to understand, guys, how we can create the container directly using image ID even though it is not downloaded. This command will pull the image also. So now this image is available. Look at this image is available now. Now when next time when I create a container, now this will not go to the Red Hat repository. It will create the container from this location itself. So it will use a local repository which is downloaded, which is pulled. Okay. All right, guys. So now, now once this is done, how to access the container? Now this is now you understood the two important things, guys. One thing is that how to search image. I hope that everybody's clear with this. Second is how to pull the image. This is also clear with everyone. Third one, how to create container from image, basic container from the image. This one you have understood. Now the fourth thing that I want to show you here is how to log in into container. Fifth thing I want to show you is how to see IP address of the container. And sixth thing that we'll see is how to see website or web pages running inside container locally. Then seventh step, I'll show you that how to tag the image. Okay, good. So let us start how to log in into container. Okay, so now I have one container running here, and the name of the container is web1. Carefully, guys, just please give this please give the a little bit attention over here. I have a container called as web1. Okay, now I want to log in inside this container. So guys, if you want to log in, you can use docker execute command. Docker execute command is used to log in inside the container. Now I want interactive shell to access this container. Okay, but now I don't want in the detached mode. Okay, because we want to access it. So it should detached mode is nothing but running the container in the background as a process. And if you are not using detached mode, it will be from the if you are not using a detached mode, then that means you will be having your container running in the foreground, nothing but on the screen itself. Okay, now what is the name of my container? Web1. And what I want to do, I want to log in inside this container. So let me use shell called as a bash. So you can use bin bash, that is also okay. You can just use bash, that is also fine. Right? And once you hit this command, look at this, I am inside the container now. You get the dollar prompt. I can type the host name here. And look at this, this is showing me the host name, which is my container ID. I can change the host name also. Right? I want to see, is there any files are available or not? Oh, okay. So let me show you that. Can I go inside some folder of this one? Or I want to see what is the operating system here. What is the operating system used by this image to create a container, to create the image? So cat etc os-release. This command is also running inside the container, right? And you can see here it shows it has used Red Hat Enterprise Linux Server. This is version 7.9. This is, I'm talking about the container operating system. Okay, it is showing here. You can also see partitions available. Now this use the base partitions, guys. This use the temp partitions which are available on the your local machine. I am inside the container now. Image is a template. We just can't access that one once it is created. You can create a container from the image, and I'm inside the container. Now I want to see that where is my HTML page, because this is basically HTTP, right? So you can see there should be one index.html page. It is not showing here. Can I create this page? Yes, I can create. Can I write some data inside this one? I can write the data inside echo hello to container world. What I'm doing, guys, I'm making changes inside the container index.html. Are you getting it? You can do a lot of things here. I can go into the etc folder of this container. Lot of things are there. I can go into the var folder of the container. Lot of things are there. Okay, so it is similar like that. Looks like another virtual machine is created. I am inside the virtual machine, but very lightweight. Now, how to come out of this container? Let me come out of this container. Exit. So when I am come out of the container, let's see that whether my container is running or not. Yes, it is running. When I exit on the prompt, right, it is showing me a running container, right? So how I access the container? Let me show you again. I can use command docker execute in the interactive mode wave1 and bash. I'm inside the container again. Let me come out of this. Okay. Now quickly, I would like to find out the IP address of the container. How I can find out? I will come back to this one because this command we are going to fire at least 100 times. So this will be by heart for you guys. Don't worry about it. So how do I find out the IP address of this container? Because I want to access the container information or website. So how do I do that? So there is a command docker inspect. So if you want to find out the information about the container in detail, you can use this command, inspect command, and give the name of the container here. And guys, you will be able to see a lot of information about the container. Can you see here? So let me just put it like this on pipeless. So this will show me the command page wise. So it shows me the what is the ID, what are the when it is created, what is the path, what is the arguments, what is the state of it, which image ID has been used, what is the host path it is using, where is the logs of these containers, right? You can see how many, what is the driver it is using, right? And then you can see a lot of information about this, which can be used. Then we can see here CPU period, what is the CPU quota, how much CPU in real time is used. Nothing is given assigned, right? It is completely blank now. As an because there is no definition assigned. I will show you how we can assign the CPU and RAM to this container also. Don't worry about it. This is CPU count. This is CPU percentage. A lot of information is available, guys. See here. This is a graph driver. This is the host name of the container. This is the user which is used right now to run the container. These are the exposed ports on which your website is running right away. And you can see a lot of things, guys, here. Lot of information is available. And from where I have pulled this image, this information is also available. You might be having lots and lots of questions, guys, on this one. This is a really beautiful thing. Whenever you get a time after this session, just have sit comfortably for 1 hour and just read this file for 1 hour, guys. The inspect command, and you will be able to see a lot of information here, right? And you see here, it is showing the gateway. This is my gateway. This is the IP address of it. This is my CIDR, 16/16 prefix is used. Look at this, also gets the MAC address, right? Which type of the network it is using a bridge. We are going to discuss everything in detail, guys. Don't worry about it. Okay, now, okay, so this is something about if you want to find out the more and more information about the container, you can inspect it. But only thing that I want to find out right now is IP address of it. I don't want to go inspect and see a lot of things here. I can use just one simple command, docker inspect, and you know, guys, this is a grep command I am using. Grep command is used for the pattern matching. If you are a very good in the JSON writing, you can use a format called as a JSON format to get, because this output which you see here, this is completely in the JSON format. And if you are very good in the JSON format, you can use that JSON format to get the parameters from it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to find out the IP address. Right, so I'm getting that IP address here, guys. See here, this is my container IP address. Every container will get one IP address, guys. Right, and if you want to have multiple IP addresses, then we have to think about the how we can add multiple network cards in the container, and that is possible, but we have to use different networking phenomena, right? So now I want to access this container, right? So can I use this curl command? Curl is what? Curl is nothing but a local browser. I don't want to use google.com. I don't want to use this called as Firefox, Internet Explorer. I want to use command line browser, that is curl, and I can give the IP address here. So now if it is running on the port number 80, it will display the output, but it shows that failed because it is this particular website is inside the container is not running on the port number 80. How do I find out the port number? You know, we fired one command earlier, and here it is showing me the ports. And look at this, it is showing 8080 port or 8443 port. So can I use this curl along with the port numbers? Yes, guys, I can. And look at this. This is the index page I have created, guys, inside the container, and I'm getting that information out of it. Okay. So let me show you one more time what I did. What I did, I went inside the container by using this command and given the name of the container web1 and shell called as a bash. Once I went inside the container, I know that the location of my pages is in here. This is my index.html. I want to write something I like vada pav very much. Those who know vada pav, they know what I'm saying, right? And let me put it here in the index.html. Okay, now this is the page. And now you can keep lots and lots of pages here, guys. Your complete project also you can keep in this particular folder. I'll show that how to do that. Exit. And later on what I did, I tried to find out the IP address of the container by using this command, right? And then I use the command called as a curl, this IP address, colon, and the port number. How I got this port number? From this command. Look at this. And now you can see I have changed the contents of my HTML page, and it is giving me, I like vada pav very much. So did you understood, guys, how to access the container? Did you understand how I can change the page inside the container? Did you understand how to access the IP address of the container? Sorry, how to find out the IP address of the container, right? And then did you understand how to access the website which is running inside the container? Now I will just take your questions if you have anything.
So Ramesh, question on the how to pull the Docker image, right? So you showed two ways of pulling the image, right? One is using the Docker pull command, another one is a Docker run command. So
Yes, correct.
What is the preferred method generally people use? Is any significance difference between that?
Yes, yes. So specifically, you should download the image and then use it. It is always better.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Creating a
Mhm.
container from an image, so the resources allocated to the container, whether that doesn't inherit it from the image.
Which resources you are saying about the network card or about the CPU and RAM or some other
Yeah,
resources?
yeah, CPU and
It is
RAM.
it is given by the native operating system with the help of Docker container engine.
So that means it is already predefined.
By default, it is defined, right?
So where
But
it is defined?
I'll show you that one. Just give me some time. I'll
Okay,
show you that,
okay,
right?
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And another important thing is that you can attach, you can change that also.
yeah, that is what my intention is. Why? Because if I have to create multiple containers from an image, and I have to limit on the number of resources for individual containers. So if you can,
Mhm.
if you know the requirement, better you modify it from the source code, so that whenever
Right.
you create content. Yeah, yeah,
So basically, there is one concept. Normally, we are firing all these ad hoc commands, right, to create a container. But there is
right.
one process used for creating a container is called as a Docker Compose.
Okay,
Okay, Docker Compose is for the programmers. So if you want to
okay,
define, if you want to create some container out of, or you want to create some nice container out of it, or provide the resources and everything to it, so there we can specify it properly. Okay,
okay.
so you
Thank
can
you.
use Docker Compose for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And follow-up question, Ramesh, on that. Can we add resources dynamically? Meaning, if you want to bump up more CPU memory, can we do that, or do we always has to destroy the image and
Yes,
recreate it?
that can be done, but for that purpose, we require some orchestration tool, container orchestration tool. Either you need to use Docker Swarm or Kubernetes for that.
Okay, got it.
So
So which is
there is there is a concept called as a horizontal pod scaling, auto scaling. All right. So if my metric 70% CPU utilization is going more than 70%, add over one more container. That we can do.
Oh, what
Because
about my question is more over on the existing content. Let's say I have an application running in the container, and it is going out of memory. Let's say, and is there a way we can bump up memory dynamically for that container?
no, for the specific container, you need to you need to write again. If you are talking about the only one container, you need to write it again. You have to destroy that container and create it again.
Got it. So there should be downtime and then do it again.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
but this problem is solved by using the orchestration tool.
Understood. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
right.
Ramesh, is there any dashboard which I can refer to where I can see all my containers, how much resources they are being using, which website it is hosted, and everything in and out?
You can see that one by using the top command, Docker top command. So in the Kubernetes platform also, I can use that command called as a kubectl top and give the pod name. You will get the information about it, right? And here
Okay,
also you can find out the information about the process and everything on this particular stuff. But dashboard as it is, GUI, I don't think so.
right.
It is there. Yeah, it is not
Okay,
available.
thank you.
For the Docker, it is not there, as per my knowledge. But for the Kubernetes, it is there.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
And
And
Ramesh,
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 Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
please
with
be
regards to
Ramesh,
partial.
we
viewing
use Docker
pages,
pull.
is it only HTML pages that we can view inside container or any other file system?
You can do anything. You can do install PHP or everything, Java, whatever you want, you can do that.
Okay, yeah, like it would be good if you can show an example later.
That's fine.
Okay,
Index.php file. Create instead of this index.html, use PHP. Or else, if it is a really PHP application, then I need to install the PHP over there. I have one exercise. I will be taking that exercise, guys. I will be showing one container, which is a front-end container having a PHP loaded, and a backend container will be having a MySQL or MariaDB. And I will show you how to connect from the front end to the back end from the container. Okay, we'll do that
Yeah,
exercise.
Ramesh, I have one more question here. So in case
Mhm.
if we require a PHP or some other packages. So we need to configure the repositories. If it is Red Hat, we need to configure Red Hat repositories. Or Ubuntu means we need to connect to Debian repositories. So can we configure like that, and can we use the same yum install like this yum commands in it?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
It is similar like another operating system, right? Yes. You
Oh
can do
yes. Then if we keep on add, it will become bulky operating system. Okay.
that. Yeah, it will become a bulky, right? There is some issue. Yeah, it requires the subscription and kind of thing. So I need to enable the subscription for the Red Hat operating system. If it is Ubuntu or sent to us, it will download immediately.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Ramesh, whatever we do, like you created one index.html file, right? Where that will be stored? Where is stored that?
Right now it is inside the container. Here.
Oh, means it's locally, right? It's not in the repository.
No. It is inside the container now.
Oh, inside the container.
I will show you that how we can do it in the locally.
Ramesh, if you are downloading the image,
Yeah, Vipasha, please go ahead.
If we are downloading the images from Red Hat, then we have to give that registry path, right? And if we have to download from Docker Hub, we don't need to specify any such path, right? We can just
because we are
Docker
using
pull HTTPD. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Absolutely correct.
Right. Okay. Yeah, thank
The reason is that we are using a Docker engine. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Ramesh, I have one more question. Anyway, we are sharing the base host or file system to the Dockers. We can see the mount points there also. Is there any way to see whatever the files which we are creating on the Docker container into the OS? I mean, from the base OS?
This is what I wanted to show now.
Yeah,
I will show that right
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have created one index file there. Right. Okay.
So what I will do now, if you want to find out something called as, or if you want to cat something from this one, from the container var www html, what is the content inside that file? You can see here. It is directly. Sorry, I need to give the index.html. So I don't have to log in into the container. I can do it from the, without logging into the container also, I can find out all the information. I want to find out which operating system is there. I can use that command. No need to log in into the container. I want to see something called as what is the df-h inside of the container. Look at this. I can find out easy.
Not like this. Ramesh, not like this. Sorry for interruption here. From the OS itself, you are on the Docker root right now. So from there, like cd slash.
No, I am in. See, I am on the
var
host.
HTTP. Yeah, you are on the host. Anywhere, is there any possibility to access just like that file system access, like ls command or something like that? Here, I know that you are executing the command to access the file system on the remote system. Like, I mean, from the Docker, without going into Docker. Yeah.
I got it. Your question now.
Yeah.
This is something that you can find out here. Can you see?
From the
you can see the host. Yes, you can see the host name. You can see the result.com. I can see the mount points also. See here. Now it is not showing anything here, but it is giving me the information about some host, some result, but not everything. Not everything from the content.
Can we find out the index.html file here?
No. I think no. It is not showing me here. 1 second, let me try out. No, it is not coming up.
For that we need to log in into the container, right?
The reason is that what your question is good actually, because the container runs as a process inside the RAM. Okay, and it is just a process, and the namespace which is assigned to this particular container, which we had discussed yesterday, like some of the mount points are there, or some of the let's say that what a PID and all, right? So these are the parameters given. But let me just check out here.
And in case, if I have 1 GB of codes, so I need to copy. I'm newly migrating from from virtual machine to Docker. So in that case, I have a data. I need to put it into the Docker. So
no, that I will
do we need to only SCP or some tarball only we need to make and move it? Or
I will show that one. This is a really good question you asked, and I try to find out the answer of that question. Okay, if you see the df-h command on the host, you will see that this is my one container got mounted. This is my container. Guys, let me show you again to everyone. Please see the screen. What is the question of this gentleman? What is your good name? The question who asked this one, very nice question.
Tamarai.
Sorry, Tamarai. Okay.
Tamarai.
Okay. So I will get to know in some couple of meetings. I think we should be able to know each other very well, the names and everything, guys.
No problem.
Pardon me if I am pronouncing it wrongly. Okay. Now df-h. Yeah, df-h. See here, I am firing this command on the Docker host. This is my Docker host, and you see here I have only one container created. And if you want to see the information about this one, what are the files and partitions and mount points are inside the container, you can just go cd and go here and enter and see here. Now you can see all these folders are coming from the container only. So in the container, if I go to the var, from where I can find out the var now. Yes, this is var. Inside the var there is a ww, inside that html, and there is an index.html. Yes, you can find out that.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Because
This is what you want.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
This is what I wanted. Because we can pull the data easily or push the data here. Just like that copy command, we can do it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
But as for the Docker, the namespace is the isolation point, right? Suppose if we are able to access the file system from the main image or main VM, then where is the security comes into the picture? Because any container from the VM, if anyone has access to the VM, it's like a vulnerable, right? They can get into any container, they can get the data from any container, right? So that is because how they say the namespace is the isolation point.
Yes, absolutely correct. So you need to make sure that the person who is accessing your the Docker host should be authentic guy. We should not give the access of the Docker host to anyone. We have to provide the security at this level. This is one thing. And second thing is that basically as a container, only container, this one, we don't use in the production as a only Docker. We have to use, because just creating a Docker containers and just pushing the application inside that one, it is not going to help. You need to create one enterprise level architecture where you will have all the rollback access control list applied properly. There is a proper SSL security applied, everything you can do, okay, to the container also, and if it is in the cluster as well. So Kubernetes, when we deploy the Kubernetes cluster, you will be able to see that it is not easy to access the namespace of the other user and access the resources which are available inside that namespace. So definitely the security is there. But here in this case right now, because I am not using any SSL certificate for accessing the container, neither anything, right? So it is only one thing is that you should not expose your password of the Docker host to anyone in this case. If it is
and also I think only root user only can go into this path though.
Yes, correct. Only root can have root privileged user. Root or root privileged user can go inside this path. Okay, this is a good discussion. I thank you very much for asking that question. And
Ramesh, I have one more question. So
yes.
the container is having its own IP address, port number, and everything, right? Okay. So can I customize it?
Yes, you can customize it.
Okay, because if my organization is using a port number, okay, which I want to open for a particular container, then I can't go with the default one. So
Yeah, you
I
can
can.
customize.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and we will see that one, how to customize it.
Hey,
Sure.
Ramesh.
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, Ramesh. I sent a chat about the history on the commands that you used to get to see the HTML index. Okay, great. Thank you. That
I'll
way
give
I'll
it.
be able to understand how to get to that point and practicing it.
You want it in the chat box right away, or should I copy it and keep it
In the
somewhere?
chat box will be fine.
Okay, no problem. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
keep for everybody's for the reference. I'm going to keep all these commands in the portal as well. Don't worry about it. Thanks. You will get
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Do we have the yesterday's commands actually history in the portal?
Yes, it is uploaded. I think so. If it is, I have given it to them. I think they might have uploaded. So maybe by today or tomorrow you
It
should
is
get.
uploaded. It is uploaded.
Thanks a lot.
Good. Yeah,
Thank you.
good. Very good.
Just a question here, Ramesh. What is the overlay? Like if you see the container gets mounted as overlay.
It is a driver basically, storage driver. Okay, it is a storage driver which is used as a overlay driver. We'll see that one.
Ramesh, Venkatesh here. One quick question regarding the mounts. So instead of we going to the container mounts, we can map the container mount to our local drive, right? To the local
Yes, we
mount.
can do that. Yes, we can do that.
Instead of we going there, we can just put a specific mount, right? Okay.
Yes, correct. I will show that. Don't it?
Yeah. Thanks, Ramesh.
Thank you.
Ramesh, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So you said, right, the containers can't access the OS of the system, right? So can we see that restrictions here? How we can't access them?
No. Okay. I think I will just try to show you in some other session. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Because
And there's
then
one more thing. You said containers are only used for saving images.
You create a container from the images.
Okay, so the main purpose of containers is only for images, right?
Main purpose of the container is to host your application, host your service with the help of image.
So with the help of image, we can host an application. That is what the purpose of the containers. Right?
See, I'll tell you one thing. Just see this one. From image, we create container. And inside that container, we host our application. This is important statement. Please keep this in mind.
What else we can do apart from hosting an application?
Databases, web-based, whatever you do on the normal machine, all that thing can be done in the container. Whatever you think right now that I want to host one database, I want to host one application, you can do that. It is similar like our server. It is similar like our small server, mini server, and you can make it bulky also by providing a lot of CPU and RAM as well. Okay, let's move with the different app. I think some more examples, then you will be able to understand that. Okay, so is this clear, guys? Now how to start the container, right? So I have one more image. Let's say that I want to run the Docker run -it -d. This is detached mode -name. I'm going to use another image called as an Nginx image, which does the same job like your HTTP. So let's see that example. So I'm giving the name as a web2, right? And the image which will be used is docker.io/nginx. So now what it is doing? Now it is pulling the image. Because I have not downloaded it, it's pulling the image and it will create a container. Same like HTTPD. This is also a different image. This is Nginx image coming from the docker.io and creating a container called as a web2. So what is there inside this image, Nginx image? If you want to see that, then you have to go to the Docker Hub portal and see what is there inside the Nginx image, how it is created. Do you want to see that? Let me show you. Because then we'll go back to the Docker PS again. You'll see that this is there are two containers running now. This is Nginx. Okay, and now this is the name of the container is web2 and port number is 80. Okay, and now if I want to access the, I will show you the two things, that what is there inside this image, and another thing is that how do I access the IP address and how do I access the website from this container. Same way, but just 2 times I'm showing it to you. So Docker PS, right, and now I need to find out the Docker inspect Nginx, that is web2. This is the name of the container, pipe grep-i web2. Sorry, IP address. Now this is my IP address of the container, web2 container. I can use curl command, and whatever the page is there inside this right now, whatever the default page is inside the Nginx image, that will be displayed here. And you can see now it is showing this page. Welcome to Nginx and everything. Okay. Because this is the default page. Now, if somebody asks me to change this page, can I change this page? Yes, I can change it. How do I do that? I need to go inside the container Docker execute -it and give the name of the container. Let's say, what is the name? Web2 and bash. Now I am inside the container. Now, what is the operating system which is used by Nginx now? See here. It might be a different operating system. etc OS-release. They have used the Ubuntu, right? Can you see? This is a Debian version is 10. Now, but where is the location of the page which is coming from the container? So it is here somewhere. User share Nginx HTML, and here this page is there, index.html. Now let me append this page with something else. Echo hello friends. Okay, and just putting inside this index.html. I'm overwriting all the contents which are there. Now I will come out of this and again curl this, and you should get the hello friends. So basically what I'm trying to show you here is that how we create container from the image. Now what is this image contains? It contains something called as a Debian operating system. What this image contains? This image contains the index.html page at different location. But how do I know this one? Where is the standard location in this image? And for that information, you need to go to the Docker Hub. So let me go to the Docker Hub. And
quick question. This time when you launch the page, you haven't given the port number, but it still pulled the page. Can you explain that?
It is a default 80.
Default port 80. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it is not asking question.
Got it. Got it. Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So now I want to search for the Nginx image. This is the official image which I have pulled. Let me click on this one. And if you go a little bit below, you can see here, this is the command which you have to use to host the container. Okay, and where is the location? Can you see here? Yeah, look at this. This is the location it is showing. User share Nginx. Inside that HTML folder is there. Okay, they have given, this is the standard port. This is the standard location where you can keep the pages. So whoever has created this Nginx image, they have defined in the configuration file that use this location for storing the HTML pages or index.html or maybe index.php or whatever it may be. But if I create my own image, I will define that don't keep inside user share, keep inside the burger, keep inside the vada pav, keep inside the idli. I can use any name for that purpose, guys, because that is my image. In my organization, my all the standard images or HTML pages or web pages are kept inside the slash data slash oracle slash something called as website. So you can define that when you create your own image. So whenever you want to find out where exactly the pages are kept, if you are using some image, make sure that you come to this particular location and search the information and you'll get that information. It gives everything, guys, here. Okay, cool. Now, this is also, see, somebody was asking me that if I want to change the port, how I can change it. See, this is particular Docker Compose format. This is YAML format. So we are going to see this in detail, guys. So only thing was to tell you that we create a container from the image, and the person who has created that image, he has defined it standard way, and we have to follow that standard way, right? If you want to use your own image, you can create your own image, and you can define your own standards, and you can use that image in your organization for production. Okay, cool.
Where is the YAML
Is this clear
file?
now?
Where is the YAML file?
No, that will create it later on. We will use that.
Oh, not okay.
Okay, no problem. Let's move ahead now. So we have discussed about creating a container, deleting a container, accessing the container, seeing the information in the container, a lot of things. Now I want to assign some IP address to this one, or let's say IP address, or let's say something called as I want to assign the RAM memory, different memory. I want to assign a host name to this container, my own host name. How do I do that? So let me show you that, guys, how I can customize the container now from the standard image. So Docker run -it -d -name. So this is my web3 container I'm creating. So there are certain options available that we can use, such as how much memory you want to give. Let's say I want to give the memory called as 100 MB. Okay, or maybe let's say I want to just give 1 MB. Then I want to give the CPUs. Okay, and how much CPU you want? I want 10 millicore. There is 10 M, or I think just I can use 10 millicore. Yeah, 10 millicore will work. Okay. Now, after that, you want to use the host name. I can use -h or I can use -- host name. Let's say that I want to give the host name to this one as server.k21.com, like this one. Okay, so this will provide the 1 MB memory. This will provide the 10 millicores. Host name is this much, right? IP address can be assigned when I created the network. I will show you that how we can assign the IP address. And now the name of the image. So which image you want to use? Let's say Nginx image, or maybe HTTPD image, or maybe my MySQL image. So let me use Nginx for the time being. So it is showing something that it is not picking up the 10 MI. I was having a doubt on that. So if I use 10, okay, max. See, now here it is showing that minimum memory limit allowed is 4 MB. We cannot give less than 4 MB memory. I have just given of 1 MB. That's it. So if I want to give more, 10 MB I can use here. Okay, and let me enter here. Now what is the problem here? I have only one CPU in my machine, and I'm trying to give the 10 CPU, but I want to give a 10 millicore. And how I can assign that millicores? Just give me 1 minute.
There it shows like 0.01.
No, there is one small unit is there. I forgot that one. Just 1 second. Can you see somewhere here? This is memory. This is IP address. And this is a MAC address I can specify. DNS also I can specify. CPU I have not specified here. Okay, no problem, guys. I will make that one.
Miss, I think it's there up. If you scroll up.
Yeah, CPU count 2.
It is count is 2. Okay, no problem. Let me give something called as a point, not 1 right now.
There you can see CPUs from
CPU or
0.01 to
CPUs?
1.00 like that. Yeah, that is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is working now. Okay, so now where I can see this now, this information, whether 10 MB is given or not, or how much CPUs are given. I just forgot the millicore symbol. I'll just get it. That guys, don't worry. Now Docker inspect, and the name of the containers web3, and let me inspect this now. Here you should be able to see that memory 10 MB is given, as well as the count of the CPU. Let me go here, and somewhere you should be able to see CPUs. I can actually grape it as well, but I want to show you here. It is not showing in these particular parameters. You see here it is showing something called as memory. This is 10 MB, and see, this is a nano CPUs I have assigned. It is a 0.1. It's a 0.1 millicore. What is a 0.1 millicore? It is nothing but 1 millicore is nothing but 1 divided by 1000 CPU core. Okay, so that is called as a nano CPU. So this is a very small amount of CPU here assigned to the one container. So again, let me repeat it. 1 core is equal to 1 divided by, sorry, 1 millicore is equal to 1 divided by, sorry, like this one. 1 core is equal to 1 divided by 1000 millicores. So rather than this one, 1 millicore is nothing but, yeah, is equal to 1 divided by 1000 cores. So one part of the 1000 part of the CPU can be assigned to the container. It is small, very small CPU amount we can assign to the container. That is what I have done here.
So just to sorry, actually, so we can assign those processor and CPU time, everything through the command line once we are in that container. And then what was the file that you opened actually? Sorry, I missed that actually. You were going
This one,
that file.
No, I have used this command. This is not a file. This is again a command.
No, you were listing a lot of parameters, right, in that one thing actually.
Yeah. This command lists everything for that container, about that container.
Okay.
Okay. I was trying to show you this.
Web3. Web3 is the name of the container, right?
Correct. So I can see here, if I try to search CPU, it is not giving me the information. grep-cpu, and you can see here it is showing me nano CPUs. Okay, this is a millicore I have given. If I want to search for the memory, I can use this command, and you should be able to see here, this is my 10 MB memory.
So there is no help or man command which you can use to find out the attributes.
So there we will get it. I think docker run --help, and you should be able to see here. There is a parameters here. You see here memory. I can use the memory in the bytes memory limit, and there might be something for the CPU also. You can see here, yeah, you can give here CPUs. A lot of parameters are there. CPU period is there, CPU quota is there, CPU, what is this, real-time period in microsecond. This is a clock setting, I think so. Then CPU shares, how many CPUs in the decimal format it is applied, 0.1 decimal, that is number of CPUs. Okay, so these parameters are there, you can use it. A lot of options are there here.
Okay, thank you.
Ramesh, this is Tamara here. I have one question. So file system, it can grow. How much ever we have from the host machine, that much we can grow. But what about memory and CPU? Will it grow automatically, or we need to set the limit? We need to fix that one.
No, for the host
In
machine,
case
we are talking about the container.
Container.
No,
Now we are,
we have to set
now
the
we are
limit.
giving here like 10 MB, 20 MB, and CPUs also we are giving like nano CPUs, like nano millicores CPUs we are giving here. Is there any possibilities to grow automatically without our manual?
Right. Right now, there is no hard quota applied to this container. Whatever the values are there, right? So it will, if your application is demanding more RAM, more CPU, the Docker host or Docker container engine will try to give that much one, but up to certain limit, right? Because Docker host should not go down. And another important thing is that you can set the limit also. That is called as a request and limit. These two parameters we'll be seeing in the when we use how to set up the higher quota as well as lower quota. That is called as soft quota and hard quota. So you don't want your container to use memory more than this much. Let's say if you set up the higher quota that it should not use more than 1 GB. So you can set up that way also, right? So there is a request and limit. These two parameters are there. We will see that in detail later on. Okay.
Thank you.
Ramesh,
if you don't give the quota, it will keep taking the memory and CPU from host.
Yes, you have to define the quota from the CPU. Yes, of course, from the host only.
Okay.
Ramesh, one question. Is during this image, you indicated image, then from image I create a container, then hosting the application. So in this overall stage, what would be the administrator responsibility and what will be the, what limits for the developer? So what is really done by administrator here and what is done by Kubernetes developer? So how do we differentiate that?
Administrator will create a base image, and developer will create a source code, and that source code will be deployed on the top of the base image. And from that base image, new image will be created, and that will be used by the system administrator to push into the different production levels. So
developer will create application and then he will push to create an image out of it. That's where he stops, and after that, whatever then image to container and hosting application, everything is done by administrator, right? Is that how I understand?
Yes, correct. And nowadays there is a new DevOps team comes into the organization, and the developers as well as administrators should know how to do this task. Okay, all right. We'll see this one, what is the job of the developer and what is the job of the administrator when we create
that is
image.
the question pending from my side to Atul actually. Yeah, that's the question I asked yesterday, so we may discuss it later actually. That's fine.
Yeah, because when we create an image at that time, I think it will be really clear for you.
Okay, thank you.
Because we are not in the process of creating an image. Yeah.
Okay. Ramesh, the source code is written in which language?
Which one? For which?
The source code for creating the images.
You can use any language. Source code is nothing but application source code. You might have written in the PHP, Python, or Java, something like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Ramesh, yesterday we learned about control groups, isn't it? Like which is the one which used to control the resources to the Docker or any process. So here, like when we talk about how much CPUs needs to be assigned and what is the maximum limit, that should be controlled again by the control group at the OS level, isn't it?
Right, correct. Because control group will make sure that it will not cross the limit. So that maximum limit has to be set, as well as you can customize that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll show that as well, how to do that one. Right now I will not be, because that then it will go into the different direction. We are trying to build
Yeah.
the concepts now, right? We are trying to understand that everybody now is able to differentiate what is image, what is container. I hope that everybody has got that segregation in mind. What is image and what is container? Is there anyone who has not understood what is image and what is container? And how do we create a container? Great. That looks good. That everybody has
Yeah,
understood that.
containers are created from images, and images have what they call the base image, from which you now use to create a container. I guess I'm right.
Absolutely correct. Yes, absolutely correct.
Yeah, it's in plain terms, I can say like image is like a layered like set of instructions. What you say is like you want to deploy an application. What is required? You put all together into one instruction. Okay, you need a base OS, and then on the top of that you say like I want to like some middleware like some Apache web server. Then on the top of that you may say like I want so and so application to be deployed. These are the step layers. You put it into one image, and that you will run it as a container. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Ramesh?
Yeah, can we make a container as an image?
Yes, we can make it.
Okay.
So in real world, Ramesh, does developer creates the image or does admin creates the image?
Anyone can create one image. Image is just it is small command to use to create an image. It is not a big one. Anybody can create. Those who have knowledge.
I mean to say that let's say we are working in an organization as a Kubernetes admin, and so Dell is the developer who's creating an application. So do they provide the images, or is there any involvement for Kubernetes admin?
There will be involvement from both sides, because developer may not be able to understand which operating system, which or which version need to be used, okay, to deploy this application. So for that time, there is a cumulative efforts from the administrative team and the development team to create an image. It is not a one-person job, right? If you have the both knowledge, administrative perspective, as well as the how to write the software code, I think that person can create it. It is a knowledge, just nothing else. And whenever we create the images now, you'll see that how easy they are. It is very, very simple. All right. So I think, yeah.
In real world, do we really need to go to Docker Hub or Red Hat to get image?
What is your question? Can you ask me?
I say in real world scenario, do we go to Docker Hub or Red Hat to get images?
Yeah, we have to use one base image to create the images, and then whenever you create your image, which is as per the organization standard, then it will be kept in the private repository, and then that can be used again.
I just have one question. I'm just trying to understand when we say image, can it be two? Can it be in two separate parts? Like base image is Ubuntu, and on top of it you have any other image.
We can. There is a one concept called as on build. Okay, while creating an image, so there we can use image on the top of the image.
So when we say we have Nginx image, that means the base image is also the Nginx.
Base image is Nginx, right? So
And
Nginx might have used some other image. It requires operating system image as a base image, and on the top of that, they might have developed some add some commands to create an Nginx image.
so it's packaged all together with the base image plus on top of it, right? The Nginx image, right?
Right, correct. So
It's not like you have. It's not like you are. I'm sorry. It's not like you are having a base image from the host machine image. Like the base image, and then on top of it you install another image to package it together. Is it like that?
Yeah, correct. Correct. I will show you that when we go to the images. Don't worry about it.
All right, thank you.
Ramesh, I
Yeah.
do have a question very quick. So,
One thing is that just to summarize one, guys. I will just take a. I will just have a 2 more minutes questions, and then I will start my sessions. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, okay. So, Ramesh, suppose we download a image from the Docker Hub and we just do some configuration at our end. Can we do upload on the Docker Hub again so that next time if I download it, all the configuration, predefined configuration will be there? I do not
Yes.
need to do this again and again.
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, perfect. So anybody can upload any image on the Docker Hub. It's not like you have some kind of credential. Maybe it may be not
You
official,
can
but
have.
you can do. Okay, okay. Thanks.
Both way you can put your image publicly, or you can put your image privately also.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
So Ramesh, Venkatesh, Ramesh, quick question. Like, since you're downloading from the public source like Docker Hub, right? So let's assume that we have an image on K21 code.k21academy.com. Suppose let's assume that we have a developers created some source files and we have got that like a CI/CD. I mean, like things. We have a GitHub kind of stuff, and we uploaded those files to that, and we created an image. So next time when we, in a real-time perspective, next time when we got a request to create a container using that particular image, so we'll be downloading it and working on, right? That's
Yes.
a real-time scenario.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Thanks.
Absolutely correct. Yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I think we have enough questions. Now we'll go for the next topic. Okay. So let me know at what time need to be need to be taken. Piyush, let me know at what time we should take a break. So 9:30 IST is okay, because then there's 2 hours of time we have. Discussion is done. So then we
Yes,
can
Ramesh, it will be. Yes, Ramesh,
yeah.
9:30 will be fine.
Okay, cool. Now let's go ahead and discuss something about how to tag images. Okay, so tagging of the image. Let's say you have one image called as a Docker image. Sorry, Docker images, and this is my image. Let me go here again. This is important. What I'm doing now. See here, guys. Docker images. So now you see here, I have this Nginx image, and whose tag is something called as latest. Okay, now I want to retag this image, or maybe something like that. I have created the container from this one. I have made some configuration changes, and again saved that container as this tag, right? A different version. So there is a this is I have one image. Let's put this way. I have one image which is having a software of version 1. So I can say Nginx is version 1. Later on, I made some changes, and I say that yeah, Nginx version 1.1. So I need to tag them properly so that we can understand, oh no, this is my different image. This is my different image. So then appropriately the developers or administrator will pick up the image and they will put into the deployment, right? So now how to do that? So Docker tag, and which image you want to tag. Let's say I want to tag this image. This I can use image ID, this one, and let's say that I want to tag this as Nginx. Let's say version 1.0. Okay, so now it will create images. This is something called as Nginx colon latest. This is my original image, and this is my Nginx newly tagged image. But the problem is that this is what I'm just tagging the same image again. That's why your image ID is different. But in the real scenario, this image ID and this image ID will be different altogether, guys. Then it makes sense, right? Otherwise, why should I tag the same image again and again? Okay, but here just to show you how to tag the images, I'm just showing it here. Now, another important thing the tagging is that, guys, look at this. I'm going to the Docker Hub now, hub.docker.com, and now here you see this is my login credential, right? This is my login here. Now let me create my new repository, create repository, and the name of the repository I'm going to give here, let's say that inside my login that is called as Kharat Ramesh, I will be creating called as, let's say, containers. This is the name I am using as a repository name, and look at this, I'm creating a public. So there are two ways are there. One is a public repository and another one is a private repository. So this will be confidential. This will not be shared across on the public Docker Hub. But since I am keeping this particular this one in the inside the public, this can be accessed by anyone in the world. But this will not be accessed by anyone. Okay, so now let me create a public repository and create it. So once I create this one, it will create a repository. This is very important. Please try to understand, guys. This is very important. Give the attention. So now the repository name is Kharat Ramesh /containers. Okay. Now I have an image. I have image called as Nginx version 1.1, and I have created after a lot of configuration and all that stuff. Just assume that one. Now I want to push this image in my public repository called as Kharat Ramesh /containers. Then it is very important, and then here tagging comes into picture. So I need to tag this image as like my Docker repository name. So I need to tag like this, Docker tag. Which image I want to tag? This image again. And how do I tag? How I have to tag this one? I have to use this repository name. Oh, I'm so sorry. Slash containers colon. I can write here Nginx version 2.0. Let's say this way. So this tag becomes very important for me because I can have multiple images going inside my public repository. So let me enter here now. Now see here Docker images. So I have a image whose name is this one as like my repository name, and this is a tag. So if I want to upload this image, I need to tag the image in this format only. No other format is accepted by the Docker Hub. So let me push Docker push, right? And I will give this image name colon. Here is the tagging important now. This image will be shown here as Nginx version 2.0. Now this is going pushing it on the Docker Hub inside my private repository, public repository. I have not logged in. Docker login. Yes, and this is my username and this password. I need to have that username and password. Yes,
Atul,
and now
can I ask a question at this point?
One second.
Okay.
If you don't mind. Okay.
Okay.
So now it is going. Now see, once it is pushed. Okay, and now see here. Yeah, it is done. Now I will refresh this page, or let me reload it. And you should be able to see here Nginx version 2.0 image.
Yep.
Right, and now I can give this image to you, and you all can also download this image by using this name. So Docker pull Kharat Ramesh /containers colon Nginx version 2.0. If you give that, you will be also able to download the same image. So this is the way we have to push the image on the Docker Hub. So tagging comes handy that time. Okay. So now you wanted to ask some question. Can you just
Yeah.
pick up one
Can I
question?
ask? Okay. So the first command that you executed before push, actually docker tag, I think that's what the command. If you can just yeah, docker tag, this one. So here you are just tagging the image, right? Then why we are using this, the Docker hub, the location actually, okay, the what is that? Kharat Ramesh / container.
Yeah.
What is the
This is
why
a name.
we are,
Where should I push the image?
no, but pushing command is after that, right?
He has given the
Here,
repository name.
This is a
It's a
repository name.
Yes. Okay, so that means when we are tagging, we should also give the repository name.
Yes. Correct.
And then we should use the push command.
Yeah, but I don't think so. Tagging, we need to give the repository name. It is just a name, right? So tag we can give anything. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think so. It does require a repository name. It is just a name, so we can give anything on the tag. So just
This
for an
one
identification.
This one, no?
No, he is saying in the line number 2127, we don't have to give the the repository name because we are just tagging. I don't know. That's what I think.
No, okay. I'll just clarify. Just clarify on these 2 points.
Okay.
You can use any name for the tagging. There is no problem. I can give anything here, like burger or something like that. Okay, but if I want to push this particular image in my repository, then I have to tag the image with my repository name and then the tag.
Okay.
You have to use the repository name and tag. Otherwise, Docker Hub will not accept it.
Okay.
I think that's the format, right?
That is the format. Yeah, that is format. Okay. See here now I have another image. Now let's say that you want to push this image. Let's say this is Nginx. Just latest. This is only image now I am pushing. Docker push and try to push this one.
Okay. Cool.
Now see where it will go.
No, it's already exist here.
You cannot do that.
Can we give the path? Can we give the path Docker push and then give the Kharat Ramesh / containers and then colon Nginx?
No, I think you need to give the.
No, I think we are discussing different topic now. Actually, yes, I think we have changed the topic. Our question was in the tag command. Do we need to give the repo? Actually, that was the idea. The initial question.
The reason is that we need to tag as per the. That is what I answered. Also, I answered. I am just trying to show you that how it fails. How it fails when we don't use the tag repository name as a tag. It will fail, and it has shown here that it is failing. Okay. All right. Now this will also not work. This will not also work.
Ramesh, I think what Vinay was asking was, in push, definitely we have to give the repository name, but I think Vinay was asking about in Docker tag command, why we need to give the repository. So I think that is the format. Somebody replied, right?
Right, correct. Absolutely.
Ramesh, even I also think that we are just tagging it, not required to give the container name here. When you push, that is where we are specifying where it should go.
Yes, that's what I understood.
Okay, I think
okay.
now guys, you are missing the point. He has been trying to explain that the tag is required to match your repository name. The reason is the push command you are referencing. For example, you can't arbitrarily put anything because it is trying to match with the images. Whatever you put in the Docker push, anything you put it in, there must be when you provide the Docker images, there must be a corresponding match, and that is why he initially tags it. And then it pushes it, and otherwise there is no match. Then it's going to fail.
That is what I shown you.
Okay.
Ramesh,
I never tried.
All right, guys. Can we move ahead now? Thank you.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please try once.
Which one?
Untagged images. Yeah, we will try to push one untagged image with the
All right, no problem. I will do that one. Okay. Which one you want now? This one is okay. Nginx version 1.0.
Yeah. It should go. Yeah.
Docker.
push.
No, now you give the.
No, first you tag it and push.
No,
Tag.
no, no.
Yeah, that's
No,
what I'm
no.
saying.
Now you give the path, container path. I mean, Karat
Array,
Ramesh. No, no,
it
not
won't.
this way.
No, no, no.
It won't.
Docker push.
No,
Karat
Docker
Docker
push
Ramesh
tag.
and
slash
Karat
container
Ramesh.
slash nginx. We give like this. Before push, yeah, give container name here.
See, guys, I'll tell you one thing properly. This is tested one, right? And what I'm trying to tell you. But anyway, I'm respecting your questions, guys. All right. Do you want me to use this one, or do you want me to use this one now? What should I do
I
here?
want you to
This
tag
one?
first. I want you
It's
to run
fine.
the tag command without the repository name.
Oh, no, it is already tagged. This is already tagged.
We can give it a different tag, right? That's not a problem.
You can give any tag, right? This is already tagged by this
So
name.
Docker tag. Yeah, 1 second.
Okay, Docker tag.
And
Let me
just
give
give the okay. Yeah. And
let me give this Italy version 1.0. Fine.
Okay. Yes, yes. And now we will push it to Khatar Ramesh, that repo actually.
It won't go. That is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I want to see that actually. Sorry for that.
There itself, before the command itself, we have answered. An image does not exist locally with the tag. So the tag must be there, like container name slash nginx, like that. Then only we push it.
This won't work. That is anyway. We will try, but there is no point in
Okay,
trying.
no problem. No problem.
It's not going to work. Okay.
So the repo name is a repo for that folder name, and that is mandatory action in the tag command. That's what ultimately.
Yes. Yes, guys, and you can let me tell you that one thing, and it is really awesome thing. Do one thing. You have a very good labs, right? Please try out all the options. Do this way, do that way. Let it fail it, try it, and I think that will be a great option. Okay, please.
Ramesh, I have one question. So the tagging is only needed when you create a image of your own.
Yes, correct. Okay, let's move ahead now. I hope the tagging is clear to you. So why we use a tag? Image tagging is important while pushing the image on repository. Okay, this is one thing. And another important thing is that tagging is important for versioning the system, right? Okay, so if you have a different versions, if you have different software versions, images, make sure that you version them properly, you tag them properly. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand which image contains what software. Okay, so that is important.
Yeah.
Is that clear now?
I just want to correct one thing. Someone earlier mentioned that tagging is required only for pushing. If you go back and look at the Docker Hub, every company, like whatever the official repositories are published, because they might be releasing multiple versions. Like let us say today they have one, and maybe tomorrow they have beta version. So they tag with each image with the version, so that you can go back and take whatever the version you want. It's just a kind of versioning within a particular repository.
Yes, absolutely correct. That is what I am trying to say right here.
Yeah, that's what I just.
Yeah, okay, thank you for the understanding. Okay, cool. Let's move ahead now, guys. Now we have understood about the basic fundamentals about the container and image. Let's take one more step now. Now the requirement is that I have created one container from the image. Let's say that, let me draw the diagram here for your understanding, guys. Okay, now consider this is what, now this is very important topic. I am taking it further, guys. This is a container you have created, and now inside that there is one application running. Very important application is running, and all the data is residing inside. Let's say I'm just taking for the example var www.html. You are having a whole important data inside that, and your customers are accessing it. Right? Your customers are accessing the data, and you have very important data. But due to some reason, what happened? This container is died. What will happen to this data? It will also go away. Right? It will also go away. So now how to make sure that data remains persistent, right? How we can make sure that data remains persistent. So let's say this is my host machine and inside that this container is there. What I will do, I will create one directory here on the host machine and I'll give the name to that host machine as, let's say, /data. And we can map this folder /data with this folder inside the container. So basically what I'm doing, I'm mapping, another word it is called as a mapping, or in another word it is called as a binding. So now what will happen, whenever there is some changes happen in the file over here, that changes will also get reflected inside this folder. So whatever there is a data inside this var www HTML will also exist on this folder. Now, in case this container goes down, I don't have to worry about it because my data is here. Now I can create one more container and I can map this folder along with this folder var www HTML. My application will run as it is without any issue because I have created, or I have just copied, or I have just mapped my host folder with the container folder by using a bind utility or by using a bind methodology, right? And that is nothing but mapping the volume. So having a persistent volume, keeping a data persistent data, right? Persistent data. I think there is some spelling issue. Okay, now persistent data. So what will happen? So if the container dies, we still have the data here, right? So let's see now how to do that, right? So this is called as binding, or this is called as a mount or bind. In background, this use the process of Linux called as port mapper. RPC bind protocol is used to map this one. So I want to show you how we can keep the data persistently on the host machine in case container dies. Container can die by any way, right? It can be died because of the host machine is now having some issue, or there's some environmental parameter issues, or somebody you have given the wrong environmental parameter, your container may go down. There are a lot of issues are there because of container may go down. So in that case, we should have this data persistent, right? So let's take the example of how we can map our volume to the container. Okay, so let's see that, guys. Let's see the exercise and then see. Okay, so I'm creating a directory called as data. So already it is there. So let me go inside the data folder. So let me remove everything from this. Okay. And let me create one file here, index.html. And let me write some information here. Welcome to volume mapping using bind or mount. And let me put this information into index.html. And it is where it is available on my local machine. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to map this folder with my container. So how do I do that? Docker run -it in detached mode. I'm giving this a name to the web4. Okay. And now here I will use -v option. So -v option is nothing but mapping the volume. So what volume I'm trying to map? Data to with whom? Let's say that is called as what is that? User share HTML and inside that user share nginx. Is it correct? What is the path of the nginx image? I just forgot it. Right, again, yes. So I can go here on the try to
Yeah,
find out
it's nginx/html.
right, I can go here and try to find out the path user share nginx html nginx/html, right? And what is the image you want to use? Let's say I want to use the image called as nginx. Now what is happening here, guys? We are using an image called a standard image called as the nginx, right? Creating a container from this one called as web4 and mapping this folder data inside here. So let me do that. So this is created now. Let me take the Docker inspect. So I would like to find out the IP address of this. Grep
So the
-i
data folder belongs
IP
to the
address.
container, right?
Data folder is now in the Docker host. It is mapped to the user share nginx HTML folder.
On
now
this
you
container.
See, yes, on this container, correct. So curl, and I'm trying to find out the information from this one. So it should show you this. Welcome to volume mapping using find out. So now if this container is died or I stop this container, still my data will be preserved inside this /data folder. I don't have to worry about the container. So let me stop the container now here. Stop container called as web4. It is stopped. Okay, so now still I have a data inside here, index.html. And now if I want to start new container from the same, can I do that? Yes, I can do. Let me map to the new container using the same image. So my new container is started now. That is web5. And now see the IP address of this web5 container. It is 5. Yeah, because it is stopped. That's why it is showing 5 here. Curl. Look at this. I'm getting the same contents. So now I can map this particular mount point, which I have shown here, with multiple containers simultaneously as well.
If
So
you don't
at
mind,
one,
can I give df command on the here from here on the Docker? Not here. Can you use the command like Docker run to
what
see
command?
the
What
from
is
the?
exactly
No,
to see
I
the?
need to check containers free containers disk volumes.
Sorry, but I didn't understood your question. Containers?
On container, we need just run the df command. Just connect the container web5 and run the command.
Okay, so I will not go inside the container. I'll show it from the outside only.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay, and what is the name of the container? Web5. And the command you want to use is df, right? Df only or df-h? You can see this one. This is the command you can see inside the container. And we don't see the data folder over there because we have mapped only /data with the var wwmh, sorry, user share nginx folder inside the container. So now if I go inside the container, or if I just try to find out the cat, let me just clear the screen. Okay, just remind me, Piyush, we need to take a break now because we are going right. So cat slash this is a, let me just show you one command finally. Cat slash usr share nginx html slash index.html. Correct? And you should be able to see the same information.
Yes.
which is available inside this.
Right. So then it is called mapping, not mounting. Mounting means that file system should get mounted on the Docker.
I could see that there is no mount point of slash data. It is mapped and
Yeah, it is
slash share slash
it is
user share engine. Right.
right, and that is something which is we say this is the terminology used in the Docker that you can use it as a bind or mount. Okay, but actually in the Linux terminology or operating system terminology, of course, mount is nothing but mounting the partition. All right.
So
I hope
Ramesh,
that is
Ramesh,
this
one quick question.
this mounting thing we will use actually when my application that is deployed on the container wants to use some information actually, but that is not part of the image, right? Then I can mount something to my image, and my image application actually can use data from there, right? If I'm not wrong. Correct.
So basically, if you can keep your source code at some folder, and from that folder you can map inside the container so that your source code can remain safe, even though containerized. That is what the bottom line is. Okay.
So Ramesh, can we use any, like if you want to connect your front end with a database, so can we put a connection string in a file and we can read it?
Yes, I will be showing that one, guys. Not an issue. Okay, thank you, guys. Okay, we need to stop you guys in between because a lot of questions are coming and flow is getting interrupted. So I request you to please ask the questions at the logical endpoint. That will be great. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, sorry for that.
Sure, no problem. Thank you, guys. So I think it is now 9. So Piyush, can we have a break for 10 minutes or 15 minutes break? Yeah, and I understand, guys. Yeah.
Ramesh, I have a question. So shall I ask now or after the break?
Yeah, please, no problem. Then because we want to go for the now break, so you can ask one. I will take only one question, and you can put in the questions in the chat box also. Yeah, please.
So when a container dies, right? Okay. So the relevant space which has been acquired by the container, okay, will that be released?
Yes, it will be released. Container dies. That means it is exited. It is not
Exited.
deleted. It is not deleted.
Okay.
So unless and until you don't delete it, the space at the location from it will not get released.
Okay. And what about the resources?
Resources will get released.
Released. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And when it comes about tagging an image, okay, that is only needed when you will create a new custom image of your own.
Yes, correct. Yes, that tagging is important for the keeping the versioning, maintaining the version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's have a break now, guys. Thank you. So
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, friends. So which folder you are talking about? This slash data?
Yeah, that we mapped here.
Yeah, it is outside of the container.
Okay. So outside the container, but it will be on that host actually somewhere.
It is in the host only. It is in the slash folder.
Okay.
It is inside the slash.
Outside the container, but on the same host where the container is.
Correct. In the local machine.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So any size that it contains that it can hold?
It is depending on the partition size.
Okay.
So if your C drive is of 100 GB and there is one folder called as a slash data, right? So it will just maximum go up to 100 GB, not more than that. If you want to add, you need to add some more storage inside it. You can increase the size.
Okay, so it's basically like a cache.
No, it is not. It is a physical storage.
Okay.
This diagram which I have shown here is not a cache. It is basically physical storage partition, which we can map this partition as on the folder called as slash data, and inside that you can keep your software, whatever software is there, and then you can map it to the container. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me
Ramesh, in
start.
case may I have
Go
one
ahead.
question. In case may if we stop the container, still data will be mounted on it or mapped on it, or again we need to remap it.
No, it will be in the inside the container. It's a good question. If the container is in the stop mode, what will happen to the data, right? When you start it
No,
again,
no,
you don't have to.
in case that container get hang or something happen, we are in a situation to reboot the container. I mean, stop start.
You can start a new
After
container with the same path.
It will be the same path only. Yeah, right. You're talking about the data folder, or what exactly question is related to?
Ramesh, the
See,
exact
now we
question
have
is now if the container hangs up and we have a requirement to reboot the container. So his question is, after you start the container, will the data will be still mapped onto that particular container, or we need to remap it?
If it is exited, listen to me. If it is exited, then it will not be available. You need to remap it again. It will go away.
Okay, thank you.
It is stopped. You can. It will be available. All right, guys. Now let me explain you what we are discussing about the container storage topic right away. After the image and after the how to create the containers from that one, I have taken one topic called as a storage. So let me just walk you through the small presentation, guys, and then we'll come back to the practical. So this is something which we are discussing right away. So Docker storage. So as I told you that in case something goes wrong with the container, then what will happen to the data which is inside the container, right? So by default, all files created inside a container are stored on a writable container layer, right? So that means you can modify the files. Data doesn't persist when that container is no longer exist. This is important. So data will get vanished, whatever the data you have changed, because image will not store. Image is something from which we create a container, right? And it doesn't store back inside the image. Please keep this in mind. So containers writable layer is tightly coupled to the host machine where the container is running. All right, this is important and need data persistency in containers, right? So you create a container from the image, you can modify inside the container, but if that container gets stopped, the data will also get lost, right? So to keep the data persistency, okay, we need to create a storage and map that storage to the container. So what are the different ways by which you can do that one? One of them is a Docker bind mount, which I was talking to you guys. I was shown in the explanation also. Look at, this is my container. You can see here, and this is my file system. That is what I created as a /data, and that we have mounted as a volume. And that method used to mount the volume is a bind mount. So basically you can bind the file system or partition to the container, or at all you can just map the volume which is there inside the file system Docker area to the container as well. So there is one concept called as a volume also. There is a concept called as a bind mount. It is a different concept. And third point is you can also mount the temporary memory, that is physical memory I'm talking about, RAM. You can map the space from the RAM inside the container for the temporary mount point, but this is not a persistent. So if your container goes off, this will also get the data will be lost. So this is a temporary mount point. It is not used for persistence. But these are the two types: bind mount, and there is another concept called as a volume. These two are used for persistent storage. So what is it? Let me explain you now. So we have discussed about the bind mount. A file or a directory on the host machine is mounted on a container. So you cannot mount the file basically. Okay, we have to say only directory. A file system or a directory on the host machine is mounted into container. This is one statement. Directory does not need to exist on the Docker host already. That is also another point. And third one is It is created on demand if it does not yet exist with Hyper-V option. So while creating a container, we can use a Hyper-V option and you can map it to the container, so that if whatever there is inside the containers folder, that will also get mapped to the host machine, or if you modify anything in the host machine's folder file, it will also get mapped to the inside the container. So it is same to same, it is just mapping, it is not mounting, it is just mapping, guys. Okay, same data will be available inside the container folder, same data will be available inside the your folder on the Docker on the Docker host. So this is something about the Docker bind bound. If does not exist, it does not create with hyper mount option. That's fine. It is just creation option. Can mount in read write or read only access method also. So whatever the way you want, you can do that. Okay, so some more information about the Docker bind mount, that how we can do that one. We can use this command docker run -d name, whatever the name you want to give to the container. This is hyphen mount type. What type of the mount point you want to type you want to use bind, and you can give the source and target with the image. So example is given like this one. You can see here. This is my dev test container, and what we are doing, we are targeting the current partition or folder to the app /app inside the container. So if /app is not there, it will create inside the container automatically. And in which mode you want to mount it, in the read only mode. So you can specify RO and give the image name. This is one way. Okay. Now, in case you want to mount in the read write mode, you can specify here RW as well. Okay. Another one is that we were discussing about the temp-fs. So you can see this diagram again, guys, temp-fs. So whatever the temp-fs is nothing but the space from the physical memory can be mounted as a mount point inside the container folder. So how to do that? This is not a hard disk space, guys. It is a memory space. Please keep this in mind. Okay. So how do we do that? So this is a Docker TMPS, a TempFS or temporary file system. TempFS is nothing but temporary file system. Mount is not persisted on disk. So it doesn't come from the hard drive, or it doesn't come from the storage. It comes from the RAM, right? It can be used by container during the lifetime of the container. So if once the container is died, this is not used. This is released. Okay. Stores non-persistent state or sensitive information. So whenever you want something called as immediate action need to be taken, and you want to bring something into the RAM, that time we use the tempfs for loop. Instance, okay, and that is one thing which is important. And can't share tempfs mounts between the containers. So earlier I have shown you that we can map the bind mount or any folder which is coming from the storage, or you are coming from the local host. We can map the one mount point or one folder with multiple containers in one go. But in tempfs or temporary file system, we cannot do that. You cannot share this one along with the multiple containers. So this is something about the, and only available if you are running Docker on the Linux. This is something which you need to understand. Okay. How do we do that? How do we mount it? So mounting of the tempfs is done by using this command. You can give the container name, and what is the mount type is tempfs, and look at the destination we are giving is equal to /app. Okay, so this way also you can do it, or just you can put colon and /app also, it will also work that way. So you can also specify the size in case you want to size of the tempfs mount in bytes, unlimited by default. So you want to specify, you can use tempfs -size option to assign the size. And you can also specify what type of the permissions you want, whether you want 777, whether you want 1/777, that is RW. These permissions are nothing but RWX permissions. Okay, so this is the way we can mount the tempfs. I will show you this practically also how we can do that. And there is one more concept which is called as a Docker volume. Docker volume is similar like your bind mount. Okay, similar like a bind mount, but only thing is that it is a preferred mechanism because rather than working with the folders, you can say that, oh, this is my volume. Okay, so I will show you that how we can see now in one command line. You can use command docker volume ls, and you can see there are a lot of volumes are there right now created because they are being used by the every container. So this volume is there. Okay, I can create my one volume, and that volume can be mapped to the container. So it acts as a name of the volume, such as volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. Like that you can create, not like a partition. You don't have to think about mkdir/data, mkdir-/data1. That is called as the folders you are mapping to the container. And what is the volume? You can create the volume by using docker volume create command, and you can map that to the container. So it is actually preferred mechanism because you don't have to think about where is my folder, in which partition it is there. You don't have to think about it, right? So for the development perspective, use volume rather than the mount point. But both things are same. I'll show you that how they are the same. Volumes are completely managed by Docker, but bind mounts are managed by the your local host system. Of course, this is also managed by the local host system only. But once you remove the Docker, this volume will also get deleted. Please keep this in mind. If you remove the Docker completely from the system host machine, your volumes will also get deleted. But if it is your bind mount, even though if you remove the Docker, your data will remain as it is. Okay. Volumes can be mounted into multiple containers simultaneously. Similar like bind mount, we can do that. So how do we do that? So this is the command which is used to create a Docker volume create. You can also use this drivers, local driver, and this is something called as tempfs file. And what type of how much you want to create temporary file system, you can say that it's 100 MB. Okay, and these are some of the examples that we will see right now. We can also use NFS. So you can use type of the driver as NFS. So you can mount that on the directory as well. So there are a lot of options available, guys, when we create a volumes. So now let me show you how do we do that, right? So I have shown you one aspect. Let me show you now practically now. So first thing I have shown you bind mount. Let's discuss practically what about the bind mount, which I have explained you before the break. But one more example. The bind mount is nothing but you can use a directory called as, let's say I'm creating a directory called as Oracle, and inside that Oracle directory I'm keeping some information. Let's say touch. I'm creating some files here. Let's say there are 100 files I have created, and this is my Oracle folder. Now I want to map this Oracle folder inside the container. So I can use command docker run -it -detach mode -name. Let's say I want to create as my v1 container, and here I can map it -v, and then this is /oracle partition colon on which folder you want to map. Let's say /oracle inside the container as well, and let me use the image called as nginx. Now can you see here? Now this /oracle is mounted on the /oracle. So /oracle is not there inside this nginx image earlier. So when we started the container, automatically by this command has created Oracle directory also. So you can see here docker, whether it is created or not, docker execute and I will give the name of the container, that is my v1, and let's say that whether there is this container is created or not. Sorry, this particular folder is created or not, and you can see this is created inside the container. Okay, so inside the my v1 we have Oracle folder got created automatically, and this local Oracle directory has been mounted to the container Oracle directory. It gets created automatically inside the container. Okay, if it is not present, it will get created. So this is nothing but a bind mount. So if I create a data here, now that data will be
Can we
available
mount it
inside
to
the
running
container.
container?
What you said again? Come again?
Yeah, can we mount it to the running container?
No. Okay, and now you can see these are the files available inside the container. The same files which are there inside the slash Oracle are now inside the containers as well. So if I make something, if I delete everything from this folder, right, and now if I try to find out, nothing is there inside that container also. So if I create one file here, it will get created inside the container as well. Inside it is actually doesn't get created, it's just mapped. It's available inside the container as well. By default, it will be in the read write mode. If you specify read only mode, it will be in the read only mode only. So creating a folder and mapping to the container is nothing but a bind bound. I hope that this is clear. Okay, and now second, let me show you Docker. So let me delete all the containers, guys. I don't want all the containers because a lot of stuff has been created. So how do I delete the containers in one go? This is the command. Docker remove all the containers. So this command will give you the IDs of the containers. So let me delete all of them. Look at that. It is getting deleted. Okay.
Ramesh, how do you control this accidental delete?
Okay, I will just explain that one. Just give me this one. Docker volume create, and let me give the name of the volume called as K21. And now you see here Docker volume ls. You will be able to see this K21. Let me Docker volume remove hyphen. Mm, okay, so I have removed all the volumes now from this one. Can you see? I don't have any volumes right now because everything has been deleted. This command, basically this command which I have used, this will delete unused volumes. Please keep this in mind. If any volume is mapped to any container, it will not delete. Okay, let me repeat again. If you use a prune command, this prune command will delete all unused volumes only. If any volume is used, it will not delete it. Since I deleted all the containers, so associated all volumes will also get deleted because they are unused. Now from the starting, let me use volume create K21. This is the volume I have created. Now you can use command docker volume ls. Now you see this is a K21. Now this is something which is logical entity, okay, which will hold the data. Now look how it works. So I have created one volume, guys. I am discussing about the volume type, volume, storage type called as volume. Now I would like to map this K21 to the container. So docker run -it -d -name. Let's say I'm creating this as a my web1. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to map this volume K21. Where you want to map inside this one? Let's say that I want to map into the app directory. Now app directory is not available in the image, but when you fire this command, this will also get created automatically. Okay, now let me use this image. Guys, it is created. Now you can see this K21 volume is mapped to the app directory. Now what I want to do, Now I want to go inside the container and see whether this app directory is created or not. And I would like to create some files inside, and then we'll delete the container, and then we'll see that how to recover the files and how to check that files. So let me log in. Just see this carefully, guys. If any question comes in your mind, please immediately quickly type in the chat box or note it on the notebook, and you can ask me when once I give you the time. Docker run, oh sorry, execute. Let me go inside the container -id. This is the name of my container called as a myweb1, and let me go inside it, bash. So I'm inside the container now, right? Now let's see that whether this app directory is created or not. cd/app. I can also check by using ls command. So you can see that a lot of folders are there inside the container. Out of that, app is already created. It got created. Now see here. Now inside this, nothing is there now because it's a blank directory. So let me create something called as 100 files here, mango 1 to 100. Okay, and now see here there are 100 files are there. Now this got created in the app, right? This is got created in the /app folder inside the container. It is inside the container now. Now let me exit from this. I have a volume called as K21. What will happen if I delete this container now? Docker ps. Now I want to delete this container. Let me delete this container for some time. Docker rm-f myweb1. This is deleted. So what will happen to the files which I have created inside the app folder in the container now? So look at this. Is this volume still present? It is there. So how I can recover the data from this one? So we can use, again you can map this one in the layman's language. Again you can map this volume to another container. Let me map it to another container. Let's say my web 2, and I can use HTTPD image. I don't want to use this one, Nginx image. Look at this. Now it is pulling the image because I have deleted everything. Now see here. Can I go inside this container now? My web 2, Docker, execute -it, my web 2 and bash. I'm inside the container now, and where I have created the files, /apps, cd/app. Can you see? And look at this. I got all the 100 files back. We were able to manage that to get with the by using the same image and same different image with the same volume, and we got it in the different container, right? We have mapped into the different container. But if at all you don't want to map to any container and still you want to find out the files, where are they on the system? How we can find out that? So this is a volume, right? So you can go to the location called as var live docker, and inside that there will be volumes, and there is a K21. Can you see? And there is a data folder inside it, and these are the 100 files. So what happens when we create a volume by using docker create volume create command? It creates one folder inside this location, and this is called as a Docker area. So when I delete the Docker container from this one or Docker everything, I think this will get also removed. Okay, but if I just delete the container and if I don't delete the volume, I will have data here. This is useful for the administrative perspective, but for the developer perspective, you don't have to worry about it, because you will think about, I have a volume called as K21 and I will map to my, and it contains some important information and I want to use that information. So we can map this volume to different container and you can access that data. But from the administrative perspective, you want to know where is the K21 volume residing the data on the disk. This is a location where you can find out the data. So volume can be mapped. One volume can be mapped with the multiple containers simultaneously. Okay, now we can take a questions for next 4 minutes, guys. If anybody has any question.
Yeah, I have a
Ramesh,
question.
can you answer the question which is in the chat? Ramesh, can you
Yes,
answer the question in the chat? Yeah, because that will be quick. Yeah.
Okay. No problem.
Okay.
Give me 1 minute. How will come to know in which directory created which file? I think Santosh, I answered your question. Sumanta is asking volume is only mapped to the container and moreover it is not inside the container. Absolutely correct. Okay, Abhiram is asking something called as but volume supposed to be deleted with container. Why it is there? Volume doesn't get deleted with the container. Okay, this is very important. You have to delete it manually. Okay, and real-time example, Abhinam. You are asking about the same thing, right? I think I have given you the real-time example. And we can see that in the when we created Docker images and everything, we will be able to see that.
No, the question was on the one of the.
Real,
the between the NFS TF that those question was a real time example.
Okay. NFS is nothing but network file system. So you have a file system available on the storage and you want to access it on the different clients. That is using the NFS. BTRFS is something which is not related to NFS. It is a file system type. BTRFS is a file system type. Like NTFS, FAT32 and all. BTRFS is also a kind of file system. But NFS is, if you want to mount remote file system on your machine, you can use NFS. Okay, I think
No, I have one more question because when we discussed earlier, we were told that the bind and mount it will be used for persistent data, but looking at this one, like a volume also, because like with the deleting the container, it is not deleted, so it is also like kind of persistent on the system. So how come these two are two different? Other than in the bind and mount, you can have a separate file system outside the Docker folders. But other than that, do you have any other differences which we are missing here?
right. Only difference is that you can use the word called as a volume here. Look at this. I can see here it is my volume, which is I can map, right? But behind the scene, you have one folder which got created in the Docker area. Otherwise, both of them are same.
Okay.
Yeah, we will, Priti, we will definitely take the use cases. Don't worry about it. So when we create our own images or we'll try to deploy something on the application. Otherwise, I will try to show you one application also in some time. Okay.
So Atul, I asked some question actually, and I am waiting for the answer actually.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Vinay, right now, I am so sorry, Vinay. Okay. So there are a lot of questions, but Vinay question has asked.
Okay. My question is, can I tell my question? Okay, my question is actually, see, when we deploy the images, right, on a and that time the container is created, right? So all these mappings that we are doing actually that should be done before the image deployment and container creation or after that?
No. Image is one part. Okay. If you are creating your own image, inside that you can write that map the volume and everything that you can do. But if you are using somebody else's image, they, while creating the container, you need to map the volumes.
Okay. So while creating the container, so the container will be created by itself, right? I mean, so when we deploy the image, automatically the Docker engine will create the container, correct?
Yes. Docker engine will create a container, right?
So all these, these commands will be part of that our Docker file actually, where these commands we will need to execute actually.
This volume, right? Creating a volume.
Yeah. All these commands. They
Yeah,
will
in the
be
Docker
part
file.
of, okay,
Yeah,
the Docker.
Docker file. Yes.
Whether it's a binding or it's creating volume, both, right?
Correct. Binding is just directory, but volume also creates a bind kind of thing in the behind. Yeah.
So all will be part of the Docker file, right? So it will be like,
We can do that. We can do that. Yes. Okay, thank you. Suma, Preeti is interested to know the use cases. Okay, I will definitely take that one. Vinay, I have answered your question. Vipasha, you were asking volume is in the host machine and we map it to the folder in container is correct. Okay, Simaraman is asking the question, if you stop the Docker service and restart the Docker service, will the volume will be flushed? No, it will not be flushed. Okay, because it will not delete. If you delete the complete package, then it will remove the area. Otherwise, it will not. What type file or data need to be placed in volume? Your source code, any type of the data, raw data, files. Amiga, you can add any kind of data which you want to give it to the application inside the container. Any kind of data. Okay, and Santosh is asking how we'll come to know in which file. Okay, I think I have taken this question. Yes, Abhiram, I hope that I have answered your all questions.
Ramesh, I have one question.
Yeah, no problem.
Now we have created HTTPD container. From there, we have mounted K21 volume. Now we are creating image from the running container HTTPD. Again, we are creating one container by using the backup.
Understood.
If we do that, can we see K21 files on the new container? Because I didn't do anything like this mount mapping any commands, but still, will the data available on /app if I go and browse it?
If it is mapped to the volume or bind, it will not be available if you create a new image. But without mapping, if you have created a folder inside the container, and if you save that, and if you create a image out of it, and then you start new container from that one, it will definitely have it.
Okay, thank you.
Ramesh, one question regarding RW and RO, read write and read only. Can you just explain, please?
Yeah, read only. Yeah, read only is nothing but from the container you will not be able to modify anything. It will be just read only. It will be mounted. Let's say this is K21 folder is there, and if your mount point is there, volume is there, and you mount it as a read only, and if you log into the container and try to change it, it will not allow you to change it. That is read
So,
only.
for example, then, so if you are getting a new container, so it will be a read only, right? Because we cannot write in it. And if you want to make some changes, then we have to.
By default, it is read write. By default, it is read write.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you want to specify specifically, you can use RO. Okay, thank you.
Ramesh?
Thank you.
When you created the file /app, did the file or directly, and you put some test file. You said something that the /app and where the test file is located is not, they are different. So I didn't quite understand what makes them different, because the /app is a directory, and so what makes it different from the one you created the test from?
Okay, so you are asking me the question about when I created a data folder and mapped it to the container, and when I created a volume and mapped to the container, what is the difference between these two? That is what the
Yeah,
question is.
exactly.
Yeah, but basically I'll tell you one thing, both of them are same. Only thing is that you can, as a developer, you can use just volume name rather than the directory name. you can use just volume name rather than the directory name while mapping it, like this one. Because we are not giving the path, we are not specifying where is the path.
Okay.
We are just using a volume name. Is that clear?
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Atul, I have a question.
Okay, Kallan is asking something called as, okay. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so my question is like, can we have a demo of like, a real application, then creating the image of that application with these and having these commands in the Docker file, and so that we have, then we can see like, dynamically like all these mappings and all those things done.
Yes, we'll definitely do that. Not an
Okay,
issue.
thank you.
Okay, about prune command, Kallan is asking something. Explain about prune command. Prune command is nothing but removing the unused volume, removing the unused. I think we also use with the container or images. If it is not used, prune command will delete it. But if it is used, it will not delete it. That is what the prune command is. I hope that Kallan, you have got this one.
So what is the time frame for used or unused? Like, does it say that like for past 1 month unused, or how that one really?
No. It is not currently used by any object, any container. If any volume is there and which is just lying there and right now not being used by anyone. If you have used, let's say yesterday, and you are not using today, that becomes unused. So prune command will remove that as well. Is that clear? Okay, thank you guys. Good. Now,
Till what size the volume can grow, or does it create multiple files within it to if the size goes on increasing?
So it is definitely you can specify the size, as we have seen in the PPT. We can specify the size. But if you are not specifying the size, then it will take the partition size. Whatever the size of the where folder is, it will take that one.
Okay.
Hey, Ramesh, what are the different states of a container?
There are a state of the containers. Good question. And I have one slide for that. Okay. And I wanted to explain you that, but I was just holding it because this will help you to understand that states.
Okay. Why? Because when you say container dies, I don't understand whether you are saying you exited or you deleted or what you did basically.
Yeah. Okay. Just can you see this one, guys?
Yes.
This is a slide which I want to make it, but why it is not coming here? No, it is going to some other slide. Okay. Piyush, can you help me to just make this slide as a in the full slide mode, because if I do that one, it is going to some other place.
I think click on now this slideshow.
It is okay.
This should work actually. Yes, now it's working.
Now this is working. Okay.
Yes.
So container lifecycle. So when you create a container, it gets created. So how do we do that one? Docker run command. Then it gets started. Then when you start it, it goes into running mode. Then you can run it. That is by using the run command, you can do that. You can stop by stopping the container, stop state. It will be stopped. You can remove it, that is deleted. Again, a stopped container can be start. It is running. You can pause the container also. It is paused. You can unpause the container as well. And then it will make a run. So you can created containers can be deleted. So these are the some states are there: running, stopped, pause, exit.
So in all these cases, except deleted, in rest all the cases, the mounts will work.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the difference between the temp fs and the file system mount is that the data is persistent. So basically the developers use the temp fs because you don't have to specify the full path, right?
No, temp fs is not persistent. It is it is not persistent. So it takes the data, it takes the space from the RAM for the some specific purpose. Okay, but mount and the volume is a persistent.
Okay, got it. Can you create any? I mean, can you show all the three, you know, the mounts, okay, for any one container one more time, so that just to make sure, you know, to understand the, I mean, if to differentiate between them.
Sure. I will definitely do that.
Thank you so much.
And I was about to do that one because it is very important from the understanding perspective. So guys, you will understand.
Just a small question here, just a small thing. The where file system is on the root VG. So if that size gets constrained, so can I change the Docker working area during the setup?
Yes, but that is possible. That is possible. Yes, we can change that. But how to customize that one, I will just let you know that. How we can
No,
do that.
actually, you can just create a file system with a varlib Docker. So that should be enough to have a separate file system instead of like root.
No, it will not allow you to override /var.
No, I got it. Now what we can do, let's say this, if this is a hard disk, okay, and you can create a partition of these hard drives, and this can be your slash, and this can be your /var. So you can separately increase this, you can separately increase this also. But if at all you are saying that to change the name only, so that then we have to change in the Docker customized script. We have to tell the Docker engine that, look, my area is different now, Docker area will be different. That is what we need to tell. But otherwise, you can create a different partition and you can resize the partition whenever you want to.
But how can it will allow me, like my root by default will have one var as a part of OS, right? If I create the same thing with /var, it won't allow me, right?
No, that happens. It will allow you.
No, it's not about the /var. We are creating a separate file system as a /var/lib/docker. That is altogether is a different file system than /var. These are two different things. Generally, we always create /root and /opt and /opt/ whatever the app related. So
Absolutely
those are
correct.
independent. Yeah.
They are independent. Yeah, absolutely correct. I can have /var as a one partition and /var/lib as another partition. It is just different mount point, guys. Nothing else. I can use this way also. This can be my different partition altogether. This can be my different partition, and this can be my different partition.
Okay, I got it. It should be appended by /lib, so that entire thing will be a separate partition.
Right. Or else if you create a /var also, all the things will come inside the /var. If you want to keep as a /var only one partition only, that is also possible.
Okay.
Yeah, it is always recommended to have a separate file system so that your Docker will not corrupt the root file system.
Absolutely.
If it grows. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, now let me show you the 3 ways to do this one finally, and then we'll close the Docker storage concept. Is that okay, guys? All right. So once I do that one, and if you have any questions in the final thing, then you can ask me. I will ask you. I will give the time to ask you a question, guys. Okay. So cool. So 3 ways. The first one is that is Docker volume. So I have shown you already that Docker volume. How do we do that? Docker volume create. Let's say that I want to create as my app one. You see here now Docker volume ls. You have app one. This is one way. mkdir, let's say another I'm creating, let's say as a my data. This is a folder. Okay. And third one is a tmpf. So let me create the container with this one. Okay, Docker run -it -d -name let's say my wall2. This is the name I'm giving to the container -v key21 : /app2 -v not K21. I have created new one. Na? Let's say app1 to the app1 folder inside the container. I have another mount point partition or folder, that is my data, mounting on something called as app2, right? And third one, I want to mount this as this syntax here, that is called as tempfs, right? So just 1 second, guys. Let me show you that syntax quickly so that you can see here. This is tempfs, so I can use this, and then I can give here name of the partition inside this one. So this is my app1 is my volume, this is my bind mount, and this is my temporary file system. This will come from the RAM. And now let me use the image Nginx, and I got this container created, Docker PS, and this is my wall 2. Let me log in inside this one to show you the difference between this, right? So Docker execute -it, this is my container, go inside this, right? And now I have app1, look at this, nothing is there. Let me create touch app 1 to 10 files. Okay, so this is inside the app1. Now this app1 is mapped to the app1 volume. Then there is second one is my /app2. It is also created, nothing is there inside it. So I can use command touch app2 into bracket 1 to 10. Now you can see that there is a this data is present inside the app2. And third one is app3, which is temporary mount point. And now can I create here inside some file touch 1 to 10. You can see here it has created the file. Now so okay, now let's see that I'm exiting from this container. Okay, I'm exiting from this container now. 1 second, before that, let me see if I can show you. Okay, so basically it is a RAM. This one, what I'm trying to show you is the RAM. This is a proc is the RAM. So now your app3 is taking the space from the RAM, and I'm just trying to find out, can I show you something from the RAM? So this is coming as a control groups here, bus, stats, file system, memory information, I think mounts. Mounts will also not have information, that information. Okay, so where exactly it is stored in the RAM, that is what I was trying to show you. That is a tough task I am trying to do. Okay, but let me exit from the container. cd/app1, yeah, docker volume ls. Now see, it is my app1 is there. So this will be available inside the var lib docker /volume app1. Inside that there will be data folder, and you can see these files are there. Another which we have created, that is, what is the command we have used to create the container? It is my data. So you should be able to see inside the my data all other files it has got created. But where I can see this app3 files, that is a temporary file, this is inside the RAM. It is not here in the local host. So whenever I delete this app3, it will not be available. So whenever I delete the container, the data from this container, which is there inside the app3 folder, will get removed. So, okay, so I'll show you that. This will not, this is temporary. So if I delete this container now, app1 will be available, this information will be available, this data will be also available, but this data will not be available because this is not persistent. See here now, Docker rm-f.
But then we haven't seen the data from the RAM, right? So that.
So it is tough task to show. I need to search it where it is.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Basically, it will be in the file descriptors. But I will check and then
Sure,
I will let
Ramesh.
you know. I just don't want to
Okay,
spend
sure.
time here. Okay, now this is deleted. Okay, now you can go here in the cd/app1. Sorry, you are in the my data. Here, this you are in the my data. Yeah, correct. So look at this. Data is there. Even the container is deleted, data is there. You can go to the var lib docker, and inside that docker there is volumes, and there is app1 volume, and inside that you can see the data. Look at this and see here. This data is present. So hence this is proved that app1 is a persistent. This volume is persistent as well as this bind is also persistent, and this is not persistent. Now this is what I wanted to show you guys for the storage purpose. Now if you have any questions, let me check out. Okay, that we are going to do. Mohammed Shafi is asking, please clarify about Docker run versus Docker create and start. I think I have shown you that, right? Docker run is the thing, but to start the container. You can also use command Docker create to start the container, create a container rather than starting, and you can use Docker start command to start the stopped container. So I will show you the stages of the containers, also how you can pause it and unpause it as well in some time. How to identify the mounted and unmounted volumes. Oh, this is possible with the help of Docker inspect command only. Ambika, it's a good question. You have to inspect the container, and then you can easily find out is it mounted or it is unmounted volume. Okay. Now Cloud K is asking, if we have microservices running on different containers, how do you link them to run the application, and how do you allocate resources to a container? Okay, so there is a link, you can link the containers, that is fine. But is it something you are asking me about the front end and back end? So we are going to do that one. We are going to create the front end and back end Dockers using the Docker file. We'll creating your own images and we'll link up them. Is that okay, Cloud? Okay,
So yeah, it's okay. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, guys.
So Ramesh, when we are without downloading a local image, okay, when we are creating a container from an image directly from the Docker Hub, okay, when you run that command, okay, it is along with creating a container, it is downloading a image locally also, right?
It downloads the image. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And Ramesh, one question which I put it, like when we design it, like how do I design which is RO and RW? So on what basis does it inputs come from development, or do I really have to understand the logic there too?
Right. Yes, it should be that if it is very important, let's say database related files are there, we should always mount it on the container as a read only, right? Because in the host machine, you have the read write modes. Your developers will be able to modify the source code or modify the contents which they want from the source code or from the your local host. But inside the container, from the container, customer is going to access the data, and that should be always in the read only mode, not in the read write mode. So it depends on the business logic.
So you're telling mostly it will be read only, but read write I didn't get it. Like when do it would be? I would say a read write.
So read write is where
Yeah.
this is this is my slash data folder, and I am a developer and I want to modify some data. I have the rights to do that one. But when I mount this as a read only mode here, this will be accessed by my customers, right? Maybe application or maybe something, some other utilities there. And that when they access it, it should be read only mode. They should not be able to change the contents of the code which is there mounted inside the HTML. That is read only. Yes.
So development environment it would be read write, and the more higher environment will be read only. That's how I.
Right. Correct. Because this is on the local host, na? As a local directory it is there. If you have a rights of roots or privileged user, you can modify it. But if somebody is accessing from the container, they should not be able to change it.
Yeah, this comes in like when you have a multiple application are trying to share the same data, and one application generate a file and other application modifies it, and those two applications might be running on with a different user. So when we do NAS mount and all this, like those kind of scenarios when multiple applications are working with the same data, that's where like you are more carefully work with the read, write, and all those conditions, like who is trying to read and who is trying to write. So we'll review those conditions and come up with the file permissions.
Yeah, right. We have to be very, very careful while setting up it.
Yeah.
Basically, you should use access control list for that one.
Yes, that's true.
So is storage concept clear to every one of you? Is there anyone who has not understood? They can put in the chat box that 0 that you are not understood. So that and you can put the question also what you are not understood. Okay, good. So far so good. Guys, are you happy? Are you learning something new?
Ramesh, I posted one question in chat window. How to protect accidental deletes of containers and images?
Images, right? Accidental delete of. Can you use chatter command? If you use the chatter command, it will not. Nobody will be able to delete that one. You know what is this? What I'm talking about? I don't know. I just don't want my file which is inside the data folder. There is a file called as index.html. Right now I can delete it quickly, right? I am root. Okay, I'm creating it again. Now see it is deleted. But I don't want this to be deleted accidentally. So index.html file is there. Even I give all the permissions to this 777 index.html, all read write permissions you can see here. I'm going to apply one command that is called as the chatter. Now I will not be able to delete it. Okay, Murli, I hope that this makes some sense, right? Good. This is very good from
Ramesh,
the
yeah, Ramesh, I have one information about this tempfs.
Which one?
Usually tempfs. In real-time scenarios, we never store any data on the tempfs. It will be used for cache, memory cache.
Correct.
So we no need to create any files under that one. So for that option only, for that purpose only, we have other options like NFS, mount, bind, and all. We have it.
so we can use that.
Right. Another is that if you want to dump some garbage for the temporary purpose, your application
Yes.
is creating a lot of empty files. Put that inside this one. So whenever
It will
this
not be persistent.
yeah, so it will not be persistent. So it will not be unnecessarily using your space from the hard drive. But for that case, you need to have a good RAM. Otherwise, it will create a problem. Okay, good. Yes, Gordon, you were asking something about the immutable. Yeah, this is immutable actually. This is append actually. We can append the contents in the file. Okay, but if you fire this command, you will not be able to do that as well. This is really, really powerful, guys. Spend some time on the chatter command. It is really powerful. Okay, cool.
When I'm trying to the Docker Hub and the GitHub, from what you've been doing, I can see that they have similarities. Am I correct?
GitHub is also a repository, remote
Yes.
repository,
Mhm.
and Docker Hub is also a repository. But Docker Hub is morely used to store the images, as per I have seen. But GitHub is used by the developers to store their source code, okay, and merge their source code developed by the different developers so that they can put it into the release. So mostly Docker, GitHub is used for the source code management system or source code version system management system, but Docker is used for mostly storing the images of the containers.
So we can only do pull and push from Docker Hub, not from GitHub.
If you have the any image stored at the GitHub, and if you give the specific path for that, I think that should be also done. We are not using regularly GitHub for fetching the images. I have not seen that way, but we are using the source code to fetch the from the GitHub and create an image out of it in the CI/CD.
Okay.
Your question, you are thinking correctly. Yeah, absolutely correct. Yes.
But it is possible, right, Ramesh?
It is possible. It is possible. Everything is possible because I have used that in the GitHub in the OpenShift, which is based on the Kubernetes, and I have connected this GitHub with the OpenShift to get the images from the GitHub. So that is possible. That is very much possible. Okay, cool. And how to make it operation back to delete the index.html file? That is a cool question. You have to use this command -i. Just remove it. It will delete it. But use this very useful. This is very useful command. Many databases use this particular chatter options. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So let me just copy the commands which I've fired. Otherwise, I will forget it later on. It becomes difficult for you to get that later on. Can you see how many commands I have fired today, guys? 2084, and this is actually hands-on. And you should at least try 5,000 commands per day in your machine, guys, if you want to learn this effectively. Just reading this one will not help you to get the knowledge. Okay. Okay, so Sudhakara, I think I have explained this, right? How to get it back.
Yes,
Cool.
yes.
Thank you very much. So is the Docker storage clear? Cool. Now let me explain you the state of the containers. So I have Docker PS command now here. Okay, guys, just confirm that is my speed, pronunciation, everything is going normal. Is it okay? Or am I going so fast? Is it comfortable to you?
It's a little bit fast, a little bit.
I think you're good.
Okay.
At least you are giving us time to ask questions.
Anthony, okay, I will try to be slow. Okay. I think many people say that you are too slow. And this is the first time I'm hearing that somebody saying that you are too fast. Okay. No, this is my. I think I hope that many of you are able to hear me properly, right? Maybe you have to check more. Your from your side if there is any network issue or something. Please do that now. Okay, good. Thank you. Rest of the people are having this comfortable, right? The speed and everything. Yeah, thank you, Linda. Yeah, thank you, guys.
Perfect, Ramesh.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, now this my container is right now. Okay, I will go slow. Okay, so this is my running container now. How I can stop it? Everybody knows about it now. So I can use command docker stop my web2 and it is stopped. So can I see the stopped container? Oh, I'm not able to see here. So which command should I use to see the stopped container?
-A.
-A, correct. Now see, it is showing exited status. That is stopped or exited is same. Now I want to start it again. Docker start my web2. Now you can see Docker PS. Now it is started. Okay. Now, how to pause this container? You can use command docker pause my web2. Will it available in the running? You can say yes, it is showing, but it is paused. How to unpause this? Docker unpause my web2, and you see it is now coming back. Is this clear? So these are the status, right? States. And how to delete? I have shown you docker rm command -a and use the my web2. So this will delete the content. So these are the steps, guys, which you have used. So create container, stop container, pause container, unpause container. Okay, then delete. So these are the some of the steps, right? Stages of the container. Why do we pause the container? So let's say there are 5 containers running and same type of the containers are running. And in one of them, you don't want to upgrade something. And the rest of the 4 should get upgraded with the new patches. But you don't want one to get affected. So you can pause it. So when you pause it, you just keep it aside and you can change in another containers. You can upgrade the containers, update the containers, or you can change the data also, and you can see everything is fine. Okay, if everything is fine, then you can unpause and you can update this container also. To see the effect in other container, we can use the pause and unpause. That is the best example I can see. If you have used this pause and unpause at any places, other places, you can just share that information with me, guys, in case you have used it.
So pause is still available, right, Ramesh? Is it how it is? Because even though it is not patched, but it's still available, right, for a transaction, correct?
Correct. No, pause means it won't be available for this one transaction. It will not be accessible. It is paused. It is something called as you have stopped the container. Point of stop. It is there in the RAM, but it is not accessible. Let me show you this. Let me show you this one. One second.
We used this pass like when we have multiple Liberty servers, like when we are trying to triage a issue, and we have a multiple instances, and we don't want to go the traffic should not go onto both, and we passed one and say like focus on one to triage the issue, and then bring up the other.
Yeah.
Instead of just bringing
Correct.
the.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what. That is what I was trying to tell before this one. Correct. You were absolutely correct. Sharing that information. Good. But let me show. Let me just try out this option, guys. I have not tried. Docker run, and let me run this command. So it is started. Container is started running. Docker ps. Let me pause it. My vault. Now see what happens. Docker ps. Can I see its IP address? Docker inspect my vault. Or let me try to log in inside this one. Execute -it my vault to bash. Can you see? I'm not able to access it. It is paused. Okay. Other way is that Docker inspect my vault to pipeclip -i IP address. This is IP address, and if I try to curl it, see it is not giving any output as well because it is unpaused. No? So it is paused, so it will not give any output here. Okay, it is got paused. No acknowledgement. So now it is available but not accessible. That is the meaning of pause container. I hope that this is clear now. Okay, let me start it back. Unpause my vault 2. Now I will be able to access this. Yes, I am inside it. And also I will get some output of this command. Yes, I'm getting it. So when you are in the paused, customer will not be able to access it. Neither you will be able to log in inside it. But it will hold the resources. It will consume the CPU and RAM also. Okay. It will also have the volume details as well properly when you are in the pause condition. So in short, it will hold the resources. Is this clear now? I think it's fine. Okay, good. So let me see if any questions are there related to this one, and then we can move ahead with another topic.
Sorry, Ramesh, there is a question earlier. What is the difference between exit and curl PQ command? So can you please cover that? I think somebody asked earlier in the chat window this question.
It's control P and control Q, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll show them. So sometime what happens, let's say if you have started any container, okay, and it has some environmental parameters which are running in the RAM. Let me put it in the simple words. We have one container which is running inside the RAM, and there are certain environmental parameters got associated with it. So sometime if I use exit from this one, then the container which is running will get in the exit mode. It will be stopped because the required parameters which are running in the RAM, environmental parameters, are get interrupted when we type exit command. So exit command does stop some parameters which are running in the RAM. However, sometime your container runs properly even you hit the exit command. But there are certain containers such as, let's say, MySQL or database containers. If you hit exit command, sometime they will get stopped. Okay, So during that time, it is always easy, or it is always better to use Control P and Control Q to come out of the container. This will not stop the running processes or any environmental parameters which are responsible to keep the um, bash parameters, running parameters in this is whatever the bash parameters which are applicable on the containers shell. If you type exit, they go out of it. But if you type Control P and Control Q, they don't get exited, and hence your container doesn't get stopped. Okay, guys, let me repeat it again. If your container has some environmental parameters which are running in the RAM, okay, through bash script, that is bash shell, if you type the exit command, then your container may get stopped. In such scenario, you should use Control P and Control Q, so that it will not exit your shell parameters which are used to run that container in the RAM. Okay, it will just interrupt the shell and it will come out of it. This will not stop the container. I hope that that is clear. Difference between exit and Control P and Control Q. So Control P and Control Q is also used to exit from the container, as well as exit command is also used to come out of the container.
Ramesh, I just got a basic question. So is it like a combination of Control P and Q, or like Control P and then you do Control Q?
You can together, you can do it.
Okay.
Control P, Control Q. Control P, Control Q.
Okay.
So if I type Control P and Q, it doesn't work. It is also using the same thing. You can do both ways. No problem.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Okay, Sumanta, not an issue. You are saying that can we stop here and continue in the next session? We have to practice as well. What is the time anyway? How much time is left out from this current session? Oh, we have only 12 minutes, right? Piyush?
Yes, Ramesh. Yeah, correct. 12 minutes.
It's there. Fine, no problem, guys. All right. So what we did in the today's session. So if you recap, try to recap. We started pulling the image. Then we tried to create the Docker Hub account. We also shown you how to create the account on the Red Hat, how to push the images on the Docker Hub, how to use the Red Hat image to create a container, right? We have also played with the how to log in into the container. Now it looks very easy for you. How to change the container data, how to host the running containers such as website hosting such as HTTPD and Nginx, and how to access them, right? How to see the information about the container by using inspect command, how to see the IP address of the container, right? Then also we have seen a lot of things about the volume storage. What is the persistent storage? What is the temporary storage? We try to map all the storage types in one go. Also shown you something like that where the Docker area is, where the volume, when we create a volume, where it gets stored. We also see that where the images are stored in the Docker area, and so many things, guys. I don't remember also that there are a lot of things. Yes. Right? You can see there are so many things are there. You see this, I think this is too many commands I hit today, guys.
Correct. Tagging also there.
Yeah.
Tagging.
Tagging also we have done, right? So many things. Okay, so this will be now given to you in the this is a notepad I'm creating. I have created. I'm going to store this one, and this will be given to the Piyush and the team. They will upload on the portal. Guys, please use it. Please practice it. Now you have almost 5 days before the next session. You have a lot of time. In the next session, we are going to do something called as, you want to paste me it here, but it will get pasted. I have not captured putty log, sorry. I think I should do that as well.
So, Ramesh, there are two, right? This one and the other one. This one is command, and the other one which you have put it here. No.
I have copied it and I have pasted here. All the commands which you see here, they are from the starting. But putty logs.
Ramesh, you can just
There
do
are other like create, delete. You have put it. You have categorized those. There are two notepad, right? That's what I understand.
Okay. So I will share. This is my notes actually. You can see I have created my notes. I will share these notes also. Don't worry.
Yeah. Can you paste this, Ramesh? So this is what I was looking for. Yeah.
This one, will it come in this particular chat box? I don't mind, but I will be giving this in the this one in the notes also. Yeah.
I think Ramesh, this is already. Yeah, 1 second. This is, I think, already available in the last session. You already shared with us, and we have already uploaded this on the portal. So this is already available on the portal. These
Okay.
Ramesh notes.
Yeah, big days batch I have already uploaded this one. I think they can. This weekend batch also can see this, right?
Where in the portal we see all this? Can you just show us?
Piyush, can you show them?
Yeah, Piyush,
No,
if you
live
can
section.
take control and show us exactly in the portal where we can access these recorded sessions and the content which you have uploaded, that will be of great help.
Let me
which you
make
are
myself.
following for you, right? Ramesh, sorry to disturb you. The notepad which you are following, which you have kept the commands in sequence, can you just share that? That would be helpful for us to start the practice from tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to give it right now. I have saved it. Now it will be shared with the Piyush immediately and they will upload it.
Not this, the one which you are using and kept for yourself. If you don't mind, this one, the
No.
back
That
one,
is
yes.
already there in the portal. That is already there.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. We want to know where it is in the portal.
Yeah, I will again give it to them. It is there already in the portal as well. So Piyush, if it is
Okay.
possible, you can show.
Yes, let me make myself presenter. Then I will show. Okay, where is all the videos and all these notes available. Okay.
Thank you so much,
Sure.
Piyush.
Guys, can you see my screen right now? Is
Yes.
my screen visible? Okay. So under the live section, all the previous recordings and all the previous notes available. So in the under live session, we will upload day wise. We will upload all the notes and all things. So yesterday's commands and all drawings available in this section. So I will open this section.
Piyush, is it reflecting any date? I mean, because there are a lot of recordings, so it is confusing actually.
Yes.
So
1 second. Let me show you. So here's the year and the month. So 21 year and 20 February is the month. So we have started on 20th February. So here's the date mentioned, and tomorrow we will upload the next session with the 2102 and 21 with date. So here's the previous batches recordings also available, and all the Docker notes which Ramesh showed in his notepad. All the notes and commands, the previous batch is available here. Also notes is also available here. All the Docker notes. 1 second, let me show you. All the Docker Compose. These are the upcoming sessions. Docker Compose and all these things also available on the portal.
okay, thank you.
And what about the notes, the PDF slides which was using by Ramesh?
1 second, let me show you the PDF also. Close this one and create. Also, I already have all the shortcuts created for myself actually. So here, this is the self portal. The other one is the live portal, and this is the self portal. All the recordings and all the pre-recorded recordings and all the activity guides, all the presentation available here. So this is the Docker presentation available here. You can download it from here, the PDF version of the presentation. Now all the pre-recorded videos available here, lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, and the activity guide is available under the lab section. So Docker installation, containers and images. So here the activity guide lab, this is for to create Azure account on the Azure account, and this is to create a Ubuntu machine on the Azure cloud, and the third one is to create all the Docker commands in the proper screenshot with the screenshot and all these things available here. So let me open this and show you one time.
Hey Piyush,
Here
not this one. We are talking about that Ramesh has the one all-in-one, that notepad, that document
yes,
where.
all the commands here.
Can you open that? Click that.
Okay, yes. These are the Ramesh notes which.
This is the
These
one,
are the, all we are already divided into different sections, so you can track them easily. And these are the networking, Docker links, the other sections, the Docker network bridge also available here. Okay, is it okay?
Yeah,
So
thanks, Piyush.
Ramesh, see, sir, Ramesh had a single notepad and you have split them into the different, that's where I was confused, right? Is it how?
Yes, correct. Correct,
Okay,
Ramesh.
okay,
I think these are all the notes you have shared with us, right?
So
I
we
have
had a
shared. Yes.
that's where you have split it, this one, right? Okay.
You can see that there is one below. You can see here Docker all-in-one.
Docker all-in-one also there.
Yeah,
Yes.
you just open that.
Correct.
They want this. Yeah, it is there. This is everything is there.
Okay, so yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, if it is all-in-one is there, that's okay.
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 Yes, please. I will also share the history with you so that you can guys use that properly.
Yeah, thanks, Ramesh.
Ramesh, when you will be covering the networking part?
In the next session.
Okay.
Ramesh, Piyush, from the finding perspective, as I see that there is, there are a lot of recording there. So is there any way, like, because some of the sessions where Mamta were last two, I mean, I attended and then now I'm going with Ramesh. So how do I know which were, do you distinguish with the name, or is there any ways I can find it out? Or because this each day it gets loaded, it's always based on date only, right?
Yes, it's only the date only, but we can distinguish with the trainer name also. So tomorrow I will try to do this. I will put up the name of the trainer by Mamta or by Ramesh, so it will be helpful to you.
Because it will be helpful. Certain things for me, at least, I have few of them with Mamta done, so that way it will be helpful for me to understand. Otherwise, like too many things, I don't know what to refer. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Sure, I will note down this and I will update this tomorrow also. Sure.
Yeah.
So Piyush, there is only one WhatsApp group available, right? If you have any doubts or something, so you have to post in WhatsApp group.
Yes, correct. You can post on the WhatsApp group. Also, you can raise a ticket on support@k21academy.com. So you can also do that.
Excuse me, did we skip the Azure part?
Sorry?
Did we skip the Azure?
Did we skip?
Yeah.
You're saying?
Did we skip the Azure part of it?
No, Azure is on. We are creating only the Azure account on. We are only creating the Azure account and VM on Azure. The Azure, if you're asking Azure training, this is the different. Azure training is a different than Docker and Kubernetes. I think if I'm understanding your question correct way.
No, I think from the outline, we said we are going to use Kubernetes on Azure.
Yes, we will cover that in the end of the session. First, we will cover on the Kubedium, on the VMs, and then we will cover on the AKS cluster, which is Azure Kubernetes cluster.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
sure. It will be demonstrated on the Azure only when we set up the cluster. It will be demonstrated on the live cloud. Yeah.
So Piyush, yesterday Ramesh has shown us 7 bonus classes, and he said the recordings are there. So can you show us? I mean, where exactly we can find out that?
Under the self videos, all the bonuses available. 1 second. This is for the CK right now. I'm showing for the CK. In
Right,
CKD,
CK.
we have similar set of live and self videos, and you can check all the bonuses on the CKD portal. So this is the for CK and bonus one. In the end of the self videos, all the bonuses available. Bonus
Okay.
1, bonus 2, 3, 4, all the bonuses available.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Any other question?
Quick question. Yesterday and today's sessions, which of the self-learning modules have been covered so far, yesterday and today? Which parts?
We have seen the architecture. We have seen the installation part, as well as today we have gone to the Docker volume as well. Some of the parts are still left out. I just want to take the fundamentals of the architecture, which I have not taken. But in the next session, that and networking will be taken.
Okay, okay, gotcha. So it's between module 1 and module 2. We've covered a mix and match.
Yeah, right.
And
So it
Piyush,
goes with
one request to you. Can we always, from the participants list, always mute everyone other than Ramesh? Always. Thank you so much.
In GoToMeeting, we already asked to people to mute it. Sometimes what happen, somebody accidentally press the unmute button, then I'm here to mute them all. So I always check is anyone is not muted or something. So I take care of that. Sometimes just of 1 or 2 second difference between, because I'm checking regularly if somebody is paused or unpaused. So just
Great,
1 or 2
great.
second time, otherwise I will pause.
Appreciate it, Piyush. Thank you so much.
Hi,
Yes.
Piyush. In CKAD, I don't see the Oracle Cloud the bonus under
These are
CKAD.
the some administrator tasks actually. So that's why we already put it in the CK. And
But I don't
today,
have the, because I didn't have the CK enrollment, because I can't
okay.
use.
Okay, so I will discuss with this Atul, and I will share with you guys on the group the bonuses and all these things. Okay.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Are we? It's like we are not following the program schedule as it's being outlined. I think from the module 1, under a lesson, we didn't. This is module 1. Lesson 6 or so, I can see Azure, but now we went to module 2 and we're talking about mounts and all of that. So which means we skipped connect Azure Ubuntu machine on Azure and all of this installation of configure Docker.
I think as Ramesh stated earlier, he's covering. Currently, he's focusing on module 1 and module 2, and picked few chapters from module 1 and 2 and teaching us that. And I mean, in the next session, he's going to cover whatever he has left in module 1, and then start networking. If I'm not wrong.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes, it will be completed. Don't worry. That will take about.
And Ramesh, one suggestion, like when we are taking the questions, it's more of things when I have seen, like, when I put in chat, like, I know you're taken from people. So when we take it from chat, let's take it from chat, resolve those, and then because few of my questions were not
Yes.
unless I talk to that, and people were, so it's not that. I mean, let's have a display that if you are taking from chat, let's complete the chat, then take up people from this one. Otherwise, or we can, I mean, I don't mind, but again, let's answer both of them. But chat also, every question should be considered, I mean, going forward. That way it will be helpful.
Yes. Sure. That will take care of it. No problem. That is a good suggestion. Sure.
Yeah.
Hey Ramesh, when is the next session? Is it on Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
So what do we have a class on Tuesday? I heard somebody saying
Yes,
Tuesday and Thursday.
yeah, weekdays classes will be there, but that is on the now it is going on the deployment. Kubernetes is going on.
Oh, okay. They are in a different track. Okay, got it.
Yeah, right. So it is in the same track, but little bit ahead. 3-4 sessions we are ahead in the weekdays.
Okay, 3 to 4 sessions. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. So that's it from the today's session. Please take care of yourself. Keep practicing, and see you in the next session. And please do. Okay.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you so much, Ramesh.
Ramesh, one query. Could you please restrict to 3 hours instead of 4 hours for the
Session.
weekend? Session.
Okay, let me check it with Atul.
7:30 to 10:30, 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. IST. Because 4 hours is long.
I think 7:30
Yeah.
is 12.
Yesterday also a lot of people voted for 3 hours.
Yeah, why? Because we'll be getting more time towards practicing things, right? Because there are a number of things, and we are new to this, so.
No, don't worry. I will just check out. Just
Yeah,
practice
because
for
we
3
don't
hours.
mind to extend the days, no problem, but make it for 3 hours.
Yes.
That's what.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying.
Okay, we'll take
1
it.
week or 2 weeks is delay is fine, no issues. But
yes,
the 4 is very long duration. That's what.
Okay, no problem. I will just take this point with the Atul, and I will discuss, and we'll come back on this one. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ramesh.
Yeah, I'm also in India. It is midnight. I know that it is 12 o'clock now. All
Because
right,
they
guys.
are getting their office. That is it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Sure. We'll try to. I will discuss with the Atul and everybody, and then come back to this one. Okay.
Okay. Fine, yeah.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Take care. Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you, Ramesh. Good night. Go home safe.
Yeah. Good night. Yeah. Sure. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you, Ramesh. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Yeah. Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night.